Sneaker Box.
Black man, sit it down.
We didn't even start the show yet. We already on some foolishness. Guru and this just biased hatred towards Eminem for some reason.
I think it's just hatred towards white people.
I think it is. I think he just.
Whoa! Our engineer here.
I don't got hatred.
He tolerates her.
Oh, okay.
I don't got hatred towards Eminem.
Not after that Rocky joke. Never seen someone so upset over a staircase before.
Man, I know. Yeah, he's upset. He's still running them though.
Did you find a good one?
I was not even paying
Did you have to go downtown?
I was not even
Getting
paying
those shots off. He don't even know. He's just like, man, these bullets hurt. Detroit is definitely in the building via headphone, stereo, speakers. This is the Sneaker Box podcast / radio show. Live from the Podcast Detroit studios, a part of the Sneaker Bar Detroit and Detail Our Families. This is your host, the African Caesar. And of course, we are joined by the contrarian of the show, Gino.
Yo.
The Googler. He's back.
Here I am.
Yes, he had quite the...
he was in my basement.
Quite the fan call. You know, the fan called in last week just gushing about Francis last week.
I really appreciated that call, by the way.
I bet you did.
So, I mean, you called and told me about it, and I was like, wait, we had a good phone call?
No, we had a good phone call.
Our show had a good phone call?
I just thought it was bullshit that I'm like, man, Francis is probably sitting right next to him, handing him a script.
No, I had no idea. And so shout out to Jay for calling in, and like, you know, I did find something that, first of all, I was waiting for like the shtick to be up, and it was actually like the real Poles and Jays or whatever the hell his Instagram name is now.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't. And then when the dude started talking about being positive, I was like, wait, is he confusing me?
That's why I thought it was bullshit. 'Cause I'm like, positivity, Francis? No.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If we got one listener back after what did he refer to him as bright as a black hole?
Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, so that's what's up. So definitely I'm upset I missed his call. Hopefully he calls in again and we can shut everyone's mic off and we can just conversate and just talk about SBs.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I could just have your own show.
Yeah, we can.
Just do like Guru. Just start your own podcast because you're unhappy on this one.
Whoa there, David Griffin. On stuff
Guru is like, I'm taking my talents to South
on
Beach.
stuff we couldn't talk about on here.
To the South Studio.
On stuff we couldn't talk about here.
But no, shout out to, what is it called again?
The Half and Half podcast.
Yes, the Half and Half podcast. Listen to them only after you listen to our show. Anyway, there are a number of things I definitely want to touch on today. Nike's in trouble once again for false advertisement. This going to their Kobe 4 fiasco. New Balance is giving away free beer to anyone in London who meets their running challenge.
I want beer.
Yes, everybody's moving to London. Kanye has stepped back from trying to take over the world and will settle for the role of creative director at Adidas. Yes. And Under Armour, oh man, I can't even say Under Armour without laughing anymore. Under Armour just can't get right.
I feel like we talk about Under Armour every week.
Man, but not for anything shoe related. Like last week, okay, they did the spacesuit thing, but it's like y'all want to get sneakers right first before y'all.
What, you guys talked about shoes last week?
Yeah.
No, we talked about wrestling.
Briefly.
All I heard was comments about me, and then I just turned off the podcast.
No, that's why you remember. That's all you tuned into.
I listened to a good 30 minutes of the show last week, and I don't remember anything.
I'll bet. It was like 30 minutes where we talked about you.
Huh.
It's crazy. But yeah, allegedly, this is hilarious. Allegedly, CEO Kevin Plank has been taking business advice from his side chick. I'm not even playing. I wish that was not a real headline.
Come on, man.
That is a real headline from a real news source.
Can't be serious.
I mean, most side chicks from his arena of life are usually your secretaries and assistants. So I mean,
well, granted,
she gives him advice on and off the field. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna leave that one alone. But she does work for.
Pretty sure that was the first time he said, "Give me a piece of your mind." You know,
man.
I got nothing.
And everybody thinks he's the same though. That's crazy, bro. Everything's Guru's the nice
and
one.
Kevin Plank called Eugene. Yeah, yo, bro, you got a crib? I need a short stay real quick.
Kevin Plank is sleeping on his boy's couch right now.
Man, look, I told you I could have looked out for him and Robert Kraft.
Yeah,
Gene was like, "Yeah, go ahead, man. Them towels in the closet. No, don't forget the towels, man.
Hide the evidence."
They were like, "Keep the towels,
man. Look, like I
take
said,
some towels with you."
Kevin Plank, if you're doing your dirt, I got a crib for you. Robert Kraft, all you had to do was reach out. So
Robert Kraft. No, I don't know if you want to deal with Robert Kraft.
Do what now?
I could have had the same setup for him. Nobody would have found out.
I don't know what's the problem with like massage parlor snitching, bro. It was a funny story. We went to
But
Canada.
it's kind of a child sex ring.
Oh, that was
I was going to say, I think the other thing, too, is that
So
video.
Gina, you
of
want
it.
to walk your statements back? Like,
no, because it was a funny
I
story.
was going to say, that part I would have nothing to do with.
you talking about-
But him getting a massage.
you talking about giving him a venue
What
to.
you guys, what are you guys
I
talking
mean,
about?
look,
You guys talking about?
he chose to go to the wrong place. That was on him.
You guys are talking about someone that's not me.
Yes. Yeah, I
Real
know.
self-centered today, aren't
I know.
you?
Unless we're talking about Francis or wrestling, he's not paying attention.
Friends, do you see who's getting inducted
You
into the
started becoming,
WWE
you
Hall
started
of Fame?
becoming a YouTuber, man.
Who is?
Oh, wow. That shut him up.
Yeah,
Oh, man, that got his attention.
I got offended.
I heard it so.
We talk about pedophilia and child sex rings. You bring up YouTubers?
Oh, no, that's what you
I
get
see the
offended about?
jump. I see the jump you made. I see the jump.
Of all the things we talked about, that's the thing that offends Francis.
Yeah.
But no, did you see who got inducted to the
No, who?
WWE Hall of Fame?
Who's going?
Tori Wilson.
Yeah, Tori Wilson. Not China, but Tori Wilson.
Hurt, man.
WWE is funny. It's a joke at this point.
Still real to me.
Speaking of which, we were talking about this before the show. This has nothing to do with sneakers, and I promise you we will get to sneakers soon. But it's talking about the Michael Jackson documentary, and that documentary, not only from a storytelling aspect, was it like boring.
What?
But it did more to convince me that Michael Jackson was innocent than anything else.
It's almost like watching the slideshows on your iPhone when you go to your library and you hit play, and then somebody talking with it. That's how it seemed to me.
There's nothing substantive as far as evidence, like in there at all. It was just
It was
kind of
just
like,
my side of the story. Of course, Michael Jackson isn't here.
yeah, he's no longer
Refuted
here,
again.
and I've lied like 5 different times in the past. But yeah,
But he
take
had
my
the
word.
rings.
And
Yeah,
nobody.
the who?
The rings from the wedding ceremony.
Okay.
Pandora got some too.
I don't know.
And things to remember. And who else? K
His
Jewelers.
hand was shaking.
Sales. Go down the line, right?
I mean, there's plenty of look. All I know is the FBI investigated
went to
this guy for
Jared's.
over a decade and found no evidence of anything. So
But like, just no one found it odd he was just touring with a child.
I think it was weird, and I think
right.
that's what makes him an easy target. But as far as anything criminal, no.
I'm gonna say there is no like damning evidence.
The Elvis one, I mean, I saw the situation with Elvis. That was old girl talking about how he used to groom her and do everything. Was 14. She started taking pills. He would caress her and make love to her. Nobody said anything about that.
It's Elvis.
They're working
Yeah,
on
that
it.
was-
No, they're not.
They're working on it.
They had years to work on that.
Hey, years to work on the Jackson thing.
You got to have the skin to win, and he definitely has the skin to win in that one.
Yeah, Michael thought the same thing. That's why he. Never mind.
I'm just saying, nobody thought it was just weird. Like that was just.
No, I
We're
think it
just
was.
dismissing he was touring with a child.
No, I'm saying that I think in his mind, Michael Jackson was really trying to relive some part of some lost childhood, and he thought he was just some.
But
big
my thing is, the
kid.
parents though gave away consent.
The
That almost
parents-
goes by the hiding in plain sight.
Well, that's the parents.
Oh man,
abducted in plain sight.
That
The
was-
parents were at
Yeah.
fault there. The parents were at fault at the Kelly.
Everybody
thing.
was at fault.
The R. Kelly thing.
Yes.
The parents were at fault at
Yes,
R.
yes.
Kelly.
I'm even
thing.
blaming the child on that
That's
one.
what I'm saying. Like
So that's what it's gonna come back down to. It's the parents.
it's always the parents.
The parents are dummies, especially a
Bro, no one's gonna call me up and be like, "Hey, I want to take your kid all over Europe."
I
Is
want
that
to come.
cool?
No, I'm about to come over and spend the night with your daughter in her bedroom. Then he cracked the dad, cracked the mom, bro. Like, come
Are
on.
you talking
Yo.
about abducted in plain sight?
Yeah.
That story, I don't know what's worse, the fire festival story where the guy was
Bro,
about to do
no,
something
no,
for
no,
the water.
this
or
is
the-
worse.
Yes.
This is worse.
I agree. I'm just saying.
Yo, I was watching that and I was like, "No,
Is that the
no,
part
no,
you
no, no,
told
no,
me?
no. Yes,
Is that the part?
yes?" My man was like, "I need relief," and he was like, "Well,
What you want me to do?
hey," I was like, "No."
wow.
And then after the mom,
I would have walked back to work.
The mama was the
I would have
dumbest
got
one.
out the car and walked back to
Yo,
work.
he gave your husband gave him head. He took your 12-year-old daughter and he had sex with her numerous times. And then you go
he
drive
probably-
out
no, no,
to his trailer park and
No.
then you let him hit.
Here's the thing. So
I'm
everybody,
just trying to figure out what point. How do we segue back?
Because
to that?
because they all had on
we're
they all had on Rockport Pro
Sorry,
Walkers.
buddy.
listen.
And they had on the girl had on the SBs and the dude Johnny, he had on them low top Don C312
No,
legacies.
B has some ACGs on.
Dog,
B has some
everybody-
ACGs.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did all conditions gear. 'Cause he
Yeah,
had them all over the country.
I had to rewind them so many times in that show. Everybody looks over something. After he was like, he asked me for release, and I relieved him. Everybody's tripping after that, right? But the screen flashes, and it says they had a relationship for 6 months after that.
Yeah.
So the dude he was catching bodies, bro. That's all I'm saying. R. Kelly had hits.
More than one way.
That's what I'm saying. My man didn't even make a dope album, and he got like the whole family. I mean, he basically tagged the whole family.
And he enrolled your daughter into school in another.
He says the CIA.
What the fuck out of here, bro? The school got fought too. Yo, this dude had no birth certificate, no document of legal guardian, and he enrolled a whole child in school. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
How do you enroll half a child? Though? Like,
But here, look, just you saying that just makes it, he just in that sense is a better parent than the actual parents.
I mean, real talk. Because it was a really good school. It was a really good school in California.
I mean, somebody had to pick up the slack.
Man, like, I'm just trying to figure out as a mother, though, how you let my man's kid up your daughter, blackmail you into not going through with the trial, and then let them hit.
Anytime the FBI called the victim idiots, that's when you know yours all bad.
Yes. No, the FBI dude's the only person with any sense in that whole documentary.
That was in the even the child, like, I'm putting some blame on it because at 12 years old, aliens for real.
Yes. And then there's the other show, The Innocent Man.
I haven't seen that.
Yo, everyone on that show is in prison because they had a dream.
Bruh,
I'll check it out next week.
Good. I feel like I've reached my quota of dumb shit for 2019.
Every person in jail.
I don't know, man, because you've been in sneaker culture the last 5 years, so.
I know. That's why my tolerance level is not as high as it used to be.
Everybody in that show is like, why did you admit to kidnapping, stabbing, and murdering this chick? Oh, I didn't. I mean, I dreamt it.
And the wife is dumb, too, because while your husband is cheating on you with a 12-year-old, right? Not a 21-year-old. You tell the family that you carry out his blackball plans. But we'll get back to sneakers, though.
Yeah, it's a sneaker. This is a sneaker podcast. I don't know about they be mistaken. They think they fumbled through the wrong show.
Hey, true crime podcasts are like popping right now. So
they are. Man, we should just dedicate. It got to be sneaker related though, like a true crime, a true sneaker crime.
I mean,
you know what I could do?
Which one? Murder? We could charge Jordan Brand with murder with that shoot I put in the group chat. I mean, Kevin Plank with
Can somebody? But no, you know what's piggybacking for that? If anybody has the email, because allegedly there's emails between Kevin Plank and the side chick through Under Armour emails. If anybody has those emails, please send them because I would love to spend an entire show reading them.
I mean,
no, Under Armour got a board of directors.
Yes.
And they hired that chick to be the head of HR.
Yeah, so I mean, Kevin Plank he didn't sign his way up out of there. Like,
man, I'm telling you, like, there's the right and bad decision or right and wrong decision, and he keeps going left every time.
How long did Steph Curry sign his endorsement?
He got to be like,
I was gonna say, like, but
he got good like 5 Pac albums left.
I was gonna say, at what point does he have a morality clause for him to get out?
I guarantee you Steph Curry has a clock that counts down to the time where his contract runs out. I guarantee you, he looks at it daily. I would. I'm like, dog, I can't wait to leave. Like, honestly, like,
should have stayed at Nike, even though they thought I was Kevin Durant.
In comparison, them getting Kevin Durant's name on his thing is like by far the least egregious.
They would have dropped his Curry ones. It would have had Kente cloth on it, and it would have had the KD in the back.
He might. Hey, he might never have got that because you see Giannis is still wearing Kobe ADs, and he was supposed to be had a.
Did you see his shoe that's coming out?
No, I haven't seen
it.
My
goodness. My goodness.
Well, pull up a picture.
I seen somebody drew like a rendering of what they think it should look like.
Let's get back on track. If you want to follow us on social media for some reason,
why wouldn't you?
Wait, we talking right now. You can follow us on Twitter at TSB_radio. You can follow us on Instagram at TheSneakerBucks_radio. And you can follow us on, oh my God, you just showed me the picture of those the freak ones. Trash. You can follow us on Facebook by looking up the Sneaker Box Radio Show page. And make sure to follow Sneaker Birdie Detroit's YouTube channel if you want to listen to the show on YouTube. I put the show back up on YouTube.
Man, them get them,
I haven't really been pressed to because YouTube is not the place to listen. I mean, there are people that listen to the podcast via YouTube, so I guess, but ideally it's not the place. Like, people want to see like 10-minute videos tops. So, that's why we left.
Can I just comment on those, Greek to Freak ones?
We'll get to that later.
I was just saying,
you lost our credibility. You don't get to talk about anything.
I'm getting those on a discount. Like, I'm waiting for them to go on sale. Because I know they will.
I was going to say, unless they gave it to you for free.
And them shoes, them Greeks look like some hooping versions of the Spiridons. That's exactly what they look like.
I was going to say, they make the Omni ones look great.
Jesus Christ. Make sure to call into our show and talk to us on air with the sneaker comments and questions every week from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by dialing 248-579-5295. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's get to our Fab Five. sneaker releases from the previous week.
Fab Five.
The Fab Five.
The Fab Five. Top five.
All right, so number 5, and this is a pretty bad week for sneakers, by the way. Ain't too much really going on. Wow. Okay. Number 5, we have the Nike Women's Air Max 1 Tan Pink and Gold. I don't know if everybody's seen those. Yep. I know it's been pretty. The entire week has been pretty. These right here.
Guru don't even care.
When he starts snickering, you know.
yeah,
he didn't even look at the shoe to start
No,
laughing.
I'm laughing. Those are those are right. They're just like an unfinished Nike ID. That's what those Air Maxes look like.
do.
But I was laughing thinking about abducted in plain sight. Like I think
You still on that? We're trying to move on.
I think it's sneaker related because I think that's what happened with the Scoop situation.
Oh, gee. What?
That's what I think.
Okay, tie that together.
Because B ran off with the money, right? They never saw him, but he took everything. He took old girl. Remember the aliens?
Oh, so you're saying B is Brody Trump?
Yes. That's what happened.
Wow.
It makes sense now. But those look like
So did he get Scoop in the car and tell him he need to be relieved?
Yes.
Jesus.
Not with those fingernails. You see Scoop's fingernails?
I have not.
Oh my
But
goodness.
them Air Maxes look like some unfinished IDs.
Oh, man.
What was the Kanye Louis Vuittons? Which one the greater tan? What was them? The Jaspers?
Yeah.
The tan with the pink on it?
Tan with pink.
Oh, those are down seas, wasn't it?
Tan with pink.
Yeah, the Louis Vuitton joints.
Those aren't tan with pink. Those are gray and pink.
Yeah, I mean the gray pink. Yeah.
The Jaspers.
The Jaspers, yeah.
Number 4, we have the Adidas T-Mac 1 Black and Royal.
Do what?
Yeah.
T-Mac one.
Who was asking for that, by the way?
It's so crazy because they actually retro the LeBron PE before they retro the actual T-Mac shoe.
Yeah, but I went on the Adidas website just to see if it was actually on there. They got like a mashup of all the T-Macs. I didn't even know about.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
as I said, I didn't even know that existed.
They got one with the Ultra Boost in there.
I
It
guess
looks like
Adidas got the
Harden.
Reebok marketing team.
Yeah, exactly.
for it to
Like,
promote the T-Macs.
That's an ugly ass shoe, by the way.
Huh?
what, the T-Mac ones?
They're not trash.
The All-Star game was the best T-Mac.
They just uninspired, I would say.
What, the T-Mac 1 or the T-Mac 2?
T-Mac 1. The All-Star game one. The
I
T-Mac
can
2,
pull
the one he
them up.
was
I
in
gotta
Houston.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
the one
wood
he
on
had
it?
that's the one he had the 2 different color ones,
No,
right?
that was the ones. The
The
twos
blue
had
and
the
the red,
strap.
the red and
Yeah,
like
that
patent
was
leather
one.
or whatever.
Yeah. The twos, he had the wood grain on it, had the strap. That's when he was
Oh,
in Houston.
oh,
Those
yeah,
were
them was trash.
Terrible.
Number 3, we have the Under Armour Curry 6 Oakland Sideshow. Yep.
Next.
Yep.
I think Kevin Plank was like, take the show off and put peace. Oh, yeah, we're going all the way today,
I can't
folks.
even. Yeah, I was gonna, yeah. Just throw this whole show in the trash.
I mean, we don't got no sneakers for us to talk about at your brand, so you gave us other material. I appreciate that.
No, he gave us that one that.
Think about it. I mean, that's true though. Like Under Armour has given us the least amount of sneaker content, but we talk about them just as much as like Nike.
And it's not like they don't have like a real athlete signed to them where they can
They only got like
really release
the greatest shooter
product.
in history. Yeah.
So
Man, I don't know. They can't get right, man. I mean, the Curry 6 is cool. It is. I said it's the Wonder Woman to their like Batman for Superman because everything else is trash.
I mean,
So
but
comparison, looks great.
that particular one that Oakland sideshow, just
I know it's
it don't look. It looks so uninspiring.
This whole list is to be honest. I mean, with the exception of the top 2, got my attention. But speaking of which, number 2, we have the Nike LeBron 16 Low Safari, and even that one, I'm kind of like,
I like that.
I mean, they was straight.
How those look in person?
I haven't seen them yet.
They seem like they was
I like the
straight.
apparel. They actually dropped apparel to go with it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Some shorts, couple t-shirts. Yeah.
Look at Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually there's like a 6-month gap
How
between
fast
the two.
did that stuff sell out?
Hey, and telling the full story. That's what he used to tell us every time they came to the store. We need this wall to tell a story. We go on your app. Your clothes don't tell a story.
Exactly.
And then number 1, we have the Nike React Element 55 White Game Royal Habanero Red. It's like it's some USA
You know it's
colorway.
slowly when I React makes the time.
It's very slow.
Beats out of LeBron.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I mean, they do look dope though. I gotta say, they do look dope.
All right, so we done with that next.
That
Yeah,
LeBron
right.
was dope though. I tried for it.
Yeah, it was cool. Those 4s though, I know somebody's gonna be like, hey, put the Jordan 4s on there because they was garbage.
What's Jordan 4s?
Those
Lava ones.
nostalgia flight or whatever.
The hell did you say to
What
me?
nostalgia flight?
Those ones that came out
White,
the white
and like hot punch one with the on white black
Oh,
with the hot.
the Centrons? And those
Yeah,
was-
whatever.
Oh, so trash.
Keith,
I
though.
ain't never seen a GS shoe for men's before until that shoe. Like that's exactly what it
You know what?
was.
And that's what I was really
Extended
confused with that.
GS sizes.
That
That's
definitely
exactly
looked like that should have been a kids only.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, what is he talking
I mean,
about?
either that or they could have did a women's only in that.
And
Like,
what
I was trying to figure out what grown man, but then again, there's a lot of dudes that's what those. Remember those white and pink 12? So
And it's
What-
selling for less than retail right now.
And what's the
should, as
and,
they should.
And what's the nostalgia behind that shit? What was it like?
There's
nostalgia?
nothing like
What nostalgia? Please tell me.
No.
I think like just looking at the apparel that they tried to throw together for it, they tried to use the Centron color almost like an infrared, like 23 type color. So
But he never went on.
that's
infrared
what I'm
before.
saying is like all of the apparel I seen that had like the flight in the infrared like color. It was like it's still not working.
Just like when they did. It was
retail for $190.
yeah, I'm not paying that. I'm not even paying outlet prices for those.
They'll be there next week.
You know they will. Even when they did the fives, was it a year or two ago when the cement fives, I'm like that. I get it, but it was just like
Oh, the
that
ones-
shoe did not go.
The
that
fives that
poison-
look like a
greens,
custom.
The poison greens.
No, not the poison greens. The cement, like they was white, black, and red.
The
with
customs.
cement print.
Yeah, it had a little bit of lime green.
No, not those. You think about
Oh,
something
you
else.
think about the
Pro
other
Stars.
ones.
Oh, the
Yeah.
pro. Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about-
That's another one that should have been a GS.
But they came out with that shoe, and I'm like, that colorway never was on that shoe. I get them wanting to
No,
throw
like-
cement print on everything.
No,
but
like I said, I think that was another custom they stole from off of somebody and was like, oh yeah, we could put this out.
probably.
No, they're known for doing that.
There's
So.
no new ideas anymore.
I will walk away from the game the day I see a Concord 5. I'm officially done with the.
All right, watch next week. Next week coming soon.
I'm
Conqueror 5.
officially
They
done.
gonna,
they are.
Hold up, they gonna re-release. What was that? Was that a Dornbecker that had like the
patent
black
leather?
light with the patent leather?
Yeah.
They gonna re-release that and call it Concord.
What's a
I'm done.
what's a Concord?
Or the Purple Rain 5.
Oh, Purple Rain 5. Sorry.
The Purple Rain
I'm
5.
done with the game, bro. I'm not.
You don't want no Purple Rain 5s?
No, I don't. They probably come with a parent teacher conference. And the theme song when you open the box.
That's like they're throwing the prom night theme on everything now. So
Cap and gown stuff?
yeah, that's what
I
I
like
mean.
Cap and gown. I mean, a
gown,
lot of
prom
kids
night.
nowadays wear Jordans. What's the name?
Yeah,
I
but come
understand,
on, man. Like
Some
you gonna
things,
throw
like
that-
them 13s, is just basically the black cats.
took the
with
black
patent
cats
leather.
and threw patent leather on it. Like you didn't even do nothing.
Jordan Brand not even trying no
Yeah,
more.
but weren't people like talking about the Cap and gown 11s like before they dropped? I think that was a slow burn because I really regret not picking those up.
Yeah, I like them.
Oh, I know. Jumpman even.
Yeah,
of all people.
I think that was like a slow burn. Like it dropped, and people were like, "What the hell is this? Nobody wants this." And then like,
And then it was like, oh shit, these are actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Did you see people wearing them? I was like, oh man, hold on. I jumped on it like as soon as I could. And the Jumpman, I told him like, you gonna want these? Nope, no, I'm good. Like they're all black 11. Like what's wrong with them?
it's real nice, like quality wise.
Quality wise, it's probably one of the better ones.
Hold up, time out. You of all people to talk about quality?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, hold up.
I'm just saying, quality wise.
No,
What you say? You
Time
bring
out.
up quality.
No.
What you say? You
Hold on.
bring up quality.
What is
Time
that?
out.
You say that's
Time out.
something about an ugly
Time
girl or
out.
something like
a fat girl or something. I don't know.
This is where
What craziness. You
this
say.
is where context matters because
All
y'all
right, here we
picking
go.
apart what I said. What I said was is all you can say something about is quality and the shoe looks trash, then it's like an ugly chick talking about her personality. But if a shoe looks good and it has good quality, then that's a win-win.
But then doesn't that shoe look good because of the quality?
No, it looks good already. The quality, because you don't know the quality until you touch it.
Isn't
Most people
that,
make the
hold
decision.
up, but isn't that what we always say about when the shoe comes out is we didn't realize the quality that was on the shoe until it actually releases, so then we
That's
like it
fine.
more?
If the shoe already looks good, that's fine. I'm saying people don't buy the shoe because of the quality. They buy it because it looks
That's
good.
the number one. Jordan had to remaster their shoes because people complained about the quality.
And they were still buying them though. That's the problem I had. Like y'all still buying them,
They
but y'all
still
complaining
remaster
about.
shoes?
No,
Actually,
they
no,
don't
they
remaster.
haven't. But actually, the Columbia 4s, them Oreo 4s, them French Blue 7s were actually really good.
Oh,
So
the
I
French
would
Blue
give-
Sevens are real good.
So they remastering.
I was
The
gonna say,
first
so
three,
is
they
the-
was
They
so-
really
remastered shoes you didn't really want though.
So was those Oreos though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Those
Those
were
first
really
three
good.
shoes from that remaster year was great.
What you mean the first three? It was only those three, wasn't it?
No, they remastered a couple other
What
ones
else?
after that. It probably stopped by like June.
That's what I don't. I feel like they. Only,
I feel like it was only just those three.
I feel like they only got up to March, and then it was just like
No, remember remember because I remember when Jack Slade had went, they was in that all white room. They had to wear the gloves. They were showing how to use. Not the people at the factory wear gloves. Not when they put in certain pieces of the leather on. It was the Liberty. It was the Liberty Tans.
They make the kids wear gloves.
It was. That's what they said during our time, but it was Liberty. It was the Liberty Tans.
Oh, the Liberty Tans was.
It was the Bulls on Broadway.
How was that remastered if those never came out?
I'm talking about the leather on. I'm just telling you what they said.
Right. No, I'm not saying anything against what you saying, but I'm saying like we can't call that.
I thought remaster was with the retros, like you said, the ones that came out before.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Liberty Tens though, I do remember like after seeing those in person, it was definitely. It was like, okay, this does look a lot better.
Those are definitely one of those shoes we regret buying after the fact. Like looking back,
they look pretty good though. I mean, they went with the theme.
Okay.
Next,
ugliest release of the week, and I highly doubt there's a debate on this.
Oh, here you go. This is all of
Nike.
them. So it was the Fours, the Orlando French Bulls. Like I said, the double nickels was on there. So these were the remasters.
The double knuckles were actually pretty good, though. I gotta say.
Yeah, but how was that remaster 4? That teal one?
Yeah, that teal one was garbage. Ugliest release is the Nike M2K Techno Animal Print.
It's dope.
You got a picture pulled up?
Wish you would.
That's like the M2K is basically like the AMG Monarch, right?
It's a Monarch all over again.
It's the AMG Monarch.
Look at that, man.
You see, they
it looked like a lion ate like 3 different animals and then threw up on the shoe.
Yeah, shoe's trash.
I'm happy they didn't throw Safari.
And you see how much they charge for those? Because I was like, man, I'm about to get a little dad.
It was 200, wasn't it?
It was like 120, 140.
Yeah, those retail for 120.
Yeah, I'm not paying that for no Monarch. You know where I come from? Finish line.
Well, no, you see,
$50.
You see, sneakers put that green, that campfire Monarch. They put that back on there.
The Memorial Day, that weekend.
Yeah.
That one was hitting for a minute too.
You got a pair?
No.
Okay.
No. You know what a size 11 looks like in that shoe?
Yeah, it looks like the Caesar size.
Man, a 15 in that shoe?
No, just Caesar size. That's
and it come in wide though. They when I was at Mr. Allen's, they sent us wide
double
ones.
E.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about all the people I saw that shoe to, and they probably like MAGA supporters now. Look, I'm serious, man. Just a little hindsight for you guys.
Oh, man. So if you own a pair of Monarchs, let you know what Guru thinks about you.
Speaking of shoes that are supposed to be coming out, you got the Amarillo. Nike Air Fear of God 1 releases sometime next month, while the Orange Post and Frosted Spruce colorways debut later this summer. There's a Nike SB Air Jordan 1 coming out next month, along with what I call the FBCC Bay Area Air Jordan 6s.
I'm proud of D. He got his collaboration with.
Yeah, I'm proud of him too, man. Like,
that's what's up.
I know the SIA Collective is really stepping up.
He's probably blocking us right now for saying that.
No, he's probably happy. I mean, sure.
He blocked people.
Yeah, he will block you. But I don't know if he'll block us for that though. The undefeated Nike Air Max 90 collection debuts this fall.
We're doing that again.
Apparently. Giannis Antetokounmpo. His first signature shoe, Guru brought it up earlier. The Nike Freak 1 will release this summer.
Terrible name. I'm saying that right now.
The terrible shoe.
The Freak 1.
Yeah, it's a terrible shoe. It's like, okay, how can we make the Paul George
and the words
2.5 worse?
In the words of Jay-Z and the friend of foe, you got a gun in your face. That's all you can come up with. That's what I saw when I looked at this shoe. It was just terrible, guys. Terrible. MVP season, that's what they give you.
Varsity Red Air Jordan 3s releasing early next year, and the picture they showed with the Dornbeckers, but
the picture I saw was the
Katrina.
I was going to say,
DJ Khaled ones. Yeah.
Sounds like DJ
That's
Khaled.
what it was. My bad.
Yeah.
The DJ Khaled. I'm sorry.
So it just sounds like DJ Khaled, the Grateful Threes.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what it looks like and sounds like. But we'll see. I remember when
we know they're gonna find a way to ruin it.
I remember when the news broke that we were supposed to get like a black and gold Pat Leather Jordan 1. Jumpman was excited because he thought it was gonna be the joints from 2013.
What?
And want. And then the Nike Kobe 5 Pro will return in 2020. Let's just hope that they don't say it's gonna have Nike Zoom Air.
Imagine
they won't.
Buying that shoe from like Flight Club, that Grateful Threes for like $20,000, and then they release them this year. The same shoe, just without the We the Best on it for $190.
Want.
Yep. They can keep that We the Best, so I don't even need that. Hopefully, I have the Nike Air on it. I doubt it.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
I'm not.
The Grateful, those threes though, those Khaled threes have like real nice red leather on them. So
don't tell that to Caesar though.
No. That chick's ugly. So who care about her lips?
Yeah, her personality is nice, but not a looker.
No.
So just gonna just take what I said and just misconstrue it. Okay, cool.
And her lace front showing too. So no.
A store is giving away a year's supply of free sneakers.
Is it Under Armour?
No, you would think.
I've seen that before. It's called Snatch and Grabs.
No.
When I worked in Toledo
for a whole year.
a whole year. I worked in Toledo. Man,
No, I could have told you about them Toledo.
I don't
cats.
know. No, they like Super Saiyan now. They almost like ISIS. Like
Oh, we got a phone call.
I didn't hear it ring.
Oh no, I ain't hear it ring either.
I like that jingle.
Magic.
Oh, ooh,
Hello?
you got skills.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey, what's going on? Tease, man, what's going on?
what's up? Who is this?
Nothing much, man. I just wanted to call in and I wanted to state like how big of a supporter and a fan I am of the show. You, Gino, Guru, Jumpman, Francis. I mean, like, you guys really make my day at work every day by just, flooding information on the sneaker game and also making me laugh. And, the whole experience of listening to you guys has been a blessing. And I just wanted to call and let you guys know that.
No, I appreciate that. I wonder if you're still gonna feel that same way after listening to this week's show. Like the first 20 minutes are just chaos.
This Guru, man, I appreciate. I tell everybody who hit me up on Instagram or wherever else that without the listeners, we wouldn't be able to do this, or this wouldn't be possible.
You can hit up on Instagram?
Yeah, people hit me up on Instagram.
Man, I want to hit me up on Instagram.
No, they just hit you up on the show.
So, man, like I said,
you're not even on Instagram like that.
You really
yeah,
not.
so like I said, we appreciate your support, man. Hopefully we can continue to make you enjoy it, make your day go by fast, and just enjoyable, give you good information.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to say one more thing to Guru and Gino. Gino, man, I wish you never made that bet with the Pelicans after the whole Rich Paul dealing. And Guru, man, I just don't know what's going on with the Lakers, bro.
Wait. Hold up.
Pull it out.
Hold up.
Well, Gino's looking pretty good. Right
No,
now.
Gino's about to hit his mama mentality. Go ahead. Go ahead with the slander.
I mean, last time I looked at the standings, there was only 2 games behind the Lakers, and they still got to play one more time this month. So it's still time. We don't know. I don't know. So
you do realize the other teams that the Lakers ain't in the past year that are playing better than the Lakers and the Pelicans.
I'm talking about just between the Lakers and the Pelicans, because if the Lakers keep losing like how they losing.
Well, the bet was that the Lakers would make the playoffs, which it don't look like they will, and then the Pelicans will have a better record, which is still a chance.
I'm saying though, we still got a month left in the season.
I was gonna say, like, there's still a chance.
So they're gonna go 20-0.
I didn't say that. They still got to play them again though. With the way the Lakers is playing, and you already know what usually happens when when teams get to this point and can't make the playoffs. Expect your boy to rest, because they're gonna say, "What's the point of him
playing?"
playing?
Here's my thing though: Anthony Davis is already rested and they losing. So my thing is,
they beat the Lakers.
They only beat good teams. They got a whack schedule, so they're gonna lose to them people.
So what about the Lakers schedule?
Lakers schedule they got Celtics. They got
just lost to the
Warriors.
Suns.
Yeah, they do. They're not playing well, not at all.
That's all you got.
That might be the quickest summary
they're not playing well
ever given.
He want to get off this.
I dove into it for 2 hours on the Half and Half podcast yesterday. So
quit plugging your shit, dog.
You plugged it earlier.
That was me being nice. He gonna get this gratuitous drops off the show.
Man. Now I know how Kobe felt. I feel you, Gene. Dang, Shaq. Dang, man. We put the 3 finals together, man. Dang.
all I got to say is, like, it's still 1 month left in the season. So I mean, it's still what's interesting enough is how tight it's coming down to between those two.
You got more hope than old girl parents when he asked to hang out with
look,
them.
At the end of the day, even if the Lakers do have a better record than the Pelicans, I'll be satisfied with the Lakers not making the playoffs.
We broke even.
That's fine with me, because I would.
The real winner is Chiquitas. I mean,
yeah. So
exactly. So I'm good with that. That's what I'm saying. Plus, I'm good with not seeing LeBron in the playoffs. So that'll make me happy too.
Oh, jeez.
No idea what
That just sounds like hate right there.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
I wanted to ask one particular sneaker question for you guys. I just wanted to ask this one. I wanted to get your guys, you guys take on, the state of like foam posits. Like I feel like everybody is saying that foam posits are dead, and like they should just put them in the vault and shouldn't release them for the next, however years on. But I just wanted to get your take. Like, how do you guys feel like Nike should handle the foam posits?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. One, I worked in Toledo, and they bought foam posits like Air Force Ones. Like, those actually sold.
They buy everything out there.
No, they buy foam posits like crazy. Like, guys got mad about foam posits. I feel like they should only kept it. Maybe if foam posits shouldn't release more than 4 or 5 pairs a year. That's how I feel like it should. You know what I'm saying? But it's just those, and you gotta know when it's a shoe year and when it's not. That's when we know it's an Air Force One year, do it right. We know it's a Jordan year, do it right. But you gotta know when the foam posit, you gotta. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the only problem with that is we know that they designed the shoe, 2 years out. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to gauge what's gonna be hot in 2 years. And this is where I give.
They can control the market with that, though.
Yeah,
can
and they
really?
have trending reports.
They can.
Yeah,
if they execute correctly, they could, but they usually don't. So,
so that's why.
I don't know. I feel like fashion is so fickle, more so nowadays than it has been previously.
And it's a shoe like $250. You know what I'm saying? You can't just drop it 4 pair in a month. It's going to sit.
That was going to be my point. Is that shoe just costs way too much to drop as many of them as they have been dropping. I mean, I did kind of like the fact of the floral one that they put out.
The floral one's dope.
I mean, it was straight, but it's kind of like you put that out with the pack, it doesn't even stand out anymore. So I mean, kind of like with Guru's point, you got to limit the number of foams that you put out a year, and then also if you can find maybe like a athlete or maybe some form of an influencer to actually wear the shoe, because a lot of the
don't say that.
Well, I'm just saying, because you know how everybody's wearing like the bulky dad shoes now. I mean, the foam posit, that's a bulky ass shoe. So that's a shoe that technically it should come back. But I mean, again, a $250 price tag, and you keep dropping all these lame ass colorways.
But see, if you take an influencer for the work, like to wear the shoe,
but it's 2019, man.
I know.
That's the customer.
I know. I'm just saying,
because you gotta look at it this way. So all the kids that I know that I work with, that like 18, 19 years old, they hate foam posits because they're like, oh, it's too bulky. This shoe don't even look sweet. Yeah.
But y'all wear no technos though. But.
Exactly. That's my point. So they saying that because they haven't seen anybody that they associate with in that shoe.
I understand that. I'm just saying from my point of view, right? I can't speak for a kid's point of view because I'm not
from a 40-year-old.
Your mama. Look, so what I will say is this: like, one, if you need an influencer to wear a shoe before you like it, then I don't want to hear your opinion. You don't count. 2, for all the people that's saying some sneaker is dead, this is what I hate about that whole thing. Like, who is anybody to determine what's dead and what's not? Like, if you like a shoe, you like a shoe, right? Like, to let somebody basically crowdfund your decisions as far as what shoes are hot on, I cannot stand that aspect of sneakers. But with that being said, as far as foam posits are concerned, I've always liked foam posits. Now, I will admit Nike did do themselves a disservice because I feel like that one year they was just beating the living hell out of it.
The Weatherman thermal map year?
It was just like, bruh, like, stop. You know what I'm saying? I did like the fighter jets.
But at the same time, that year they was actually selling out, though.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just like the Jordan 1s, I felt like they were kind of doing that to the foam posits. And I feel like the only reason they couldn't do it is because it takes more to make the foam posit than it does a Jordan 1.
But I think what they need to do if they want to technically bring the foam posit back, go to the artists who kind of carried the foam posit, which is Wale. Like, you gave Travis Scott a Jordan deal. You move Drake from Jordan brand to Nike. So now he's going to be wearing Air Maxes, his own Air Max and stuff. You move Virgil from lifestyle to Nike running. Put Wale with the foams.
But I think
there's other foams you can drop. The total foam posits. You know what I'm saying? Total max foam posits. Like, there's other stuff you can drop.
But besides that, though, storytelling. Like, we talk about that a lot. Like, I feel like they've done a piss poor job of telling that story of what makes that shoe unique, and and telling the story of Penny and how that
I mean, but how many times can they tell that same story?
They haven't done a very good job of telling it once. So I'm not.
They did the Sharpie and they did the Royals. That's sometimes the colors he wore. He only wore that one color. He never wore no other.
And then outside of that, they can bring back the cough drops. They can bring back the red foams. They can bring back the coppers.
2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. They can keep bringing that stuff back out.
No, I'm saying they brought shoes back out, but they haven't really told a story. That's what I'm
outside of Penny wearing the two that he wore, there really was no.
But
story.
they never really told the story. Then it was like, okay, he did the Sharpie. And that was it. Like,
they did.
There was no real. Huh?
They did the little pennies that they only had in kid sizes.
No, they need to bring that back.
No, what they could do is when they really want to jumpstart it back, this is free game. One, bring back the Soul Collector pack. Remember the Soul Collector pennies?
Yes.
Yep. That was like 2 phone posits during our Las Vegas event that they never dropped.
Oh, bring back those penny threes too.
Yeah, all the shoes from that penny collection.
Yeah.
2, what you could do is give Wale his own phone posit and let him tell the story of what the phone
How much is
posit
Wale
means.
paying you right now?
That's why I do DMV. To do
I want to go
DMV,
back to
though.
my original question. Like, who's checking for Wale still?
I mean, I'm just saying,
Jesus.
That's what I'm
real
saying.
people, because you gotta understand, like, just like the music business, you got the conscious rap, and those people, even though they don't sell like Drake, they still have a following, just like the industry.
Hey, Francis.
We know the big Yeezy people, but whoever
Francis,
we rock
hey,
everything else.
between Wale and his podcast, have we talked about anything else on the show?
Yes, we have.
Mentioned Jay-Z once.
Yeah, he did. I mean, there you go.
Actually, Eminem got mentioned 3 times.
By you though.
By you.
You mentioned them all 3 times.
I know Quality beat that out with 4 times. We talked about Quality 4 times.
Yes, we did too.
No, it's
saying.
probably pain and
Oh, and then Netflix documentary. So yeah, there you go. That's been our show.
I'm like, Wale ain't gonna push me to buy no phones.
No, that's not. Well, you
That's
might
not-
get Guru too.
I'm saying for us, we don't look at the buyers as the same. And that's one thing I had to accept. Like the way the sneaker culture is now, the company's brand is not targeted for me. eBay is for me. That's what I'm saying. Cause I'm so knowledgeable in the game. I know if it don't come out in the stores, I know where to go get it or where to find it elsewhere. The kids don't have that. They just now getting into it. So they're easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? They just throw a light on the wall like, ooh.
So why would you throw Wale then? Because they ain't listening to Wale like that.
I mean,
checking for
the
Wale, bro.
DMV area. The DMV.
No one's checking for Wale.
I'm saying
That's
the
my point.
No, the DMV area, like just how the
But
Air
that's
Force
one
One-
area though.
just like the top 10s. Like they released that shoe worldwide, but they really released it for Detroit to sell. Detroit is going to carry
I
the
still
sales
don't own a
weight.
pair.
I know.
I
Yeah,
have
because
Detroit carries the sales weight.
Caesar know that only one person is responsible for that shoe.
Yeah, only one. Yeah, I know one person. He's stronger on Adidas.
So I mean,
He
that's
went to
why.
Adidas in Germany and
He knocked
threw
on the
CEO
door.
on the desk in a
What are you
chokehold.
talking about? Did you give him a jacket?
I'm telling you, you wear those jackets near a lit flame. You going up like a Q-tip.
Hey, you be talking mad stuff. I'm pretty sure when you get to work, you take that starter off and you hang it right around your chair. You tie up your top 10s and you cock that hat to the side and go like this.
You got to do the face one more.
I'm so glad we ain't got video. That stupid face. Anyway,
So yeah, to your question,
like a
phones are
turtle with an
expensive.
upset stomach. But go ahead.
Phones are expensive.
Yeah, basically, we basically took a question and ran amok.
That goes underappreciated on you guys' podcast is like the jokes you guys crack. It really like ties in so well with the times that you talk about sneakers, but then again you guys break away and you get your little rants and cracking jokes, and I appreciate that a lot. Sometimes I burst out in laughter and my coworkers look at me like, what the hell is going on here?
You know
Why
what?
is he laughing like that?
Because because we love sneakers, obviously, right? But I mean, it does get a little mundane when you can talk about sneakers all the time. So, and we're all friends, so it's like
Yeah, that's why we bring in the stories of Under Armour every now and then.
Oh my God, yeah, Under Armour, yeah. There is no sneaker related stories for Under
You
Armour.
know who's probably working the door at Under Armour parties? White Ranger. Hey, he probably found old girl on Twitter like he was in his car.
Oh God. On that note, man.
The Red Lobster stories are classic.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was
Thank
probably
you.
my
I
favorite.
appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Those
That's his shining moment.
I know.
He is like bowing right now.
I have so much post-traumatic stress from that job. I'm happy that I can make your day better by telling those stories, man.
Man, the guy that
Thank you.
died.
The guy that died.
Yes.
That was
Yes,
hilarious.
yes,
But
yes,
thank you for calling in. I appreciate you
we all do.
listening, and hopefully we can, get you to continue to listen going forward.
No, you guys got my full support, man. God bless you, brothers, man. Much love from New York, Brooklyn. I really
That's what's
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.
2 phone calls back to back that are
That's pretty good.
that did weird. Damn. We just need to stop
fight.
calling people
Well,
and then just have them call us.
Well, we had your homeboy just basically co-host the show with us.
I appreciate
Basically,
that.
yeah,
He
almost
took
like
your
had a
spot.
chair, yeah. A store is giving away a year's supply of free
I
sneakers.
forgot about this
An
already.
article written by Mike DeStefano, Soul Collector. Hibbett Sports is celebrating Air Max Day 2019 by giving one lucky customer free sneakers for an entire year. Individuals can participate in the Share Your Air promotion through Hibbit's official app. Each week, the app will feature a pair of Nike Air Maxes. To enter, the user will simply have to fill in the details. Each submission is entered into a drawing for one of 3 prizes. 1, a $100 Hibbit Sports gift card. 2, a $250 store gift card. Or 3, a monthly $250 gift card to the retailer, which equates to 1 free sneaker or a free sneaker for free sneakers for a year.
That's a free foam a month.
Yes, there you go.
There it is.
Entries must be placed between March 1st and March 31st. Winners will be notified via email on April 8th.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. What are the parameters of the game?
Basically, they're going to put up a pair of Air Maxes, and then you have to like fill in the details, like which Air Max it is.
Air Max 90, all white.
Interesting.
Not
downloading that.
Those sell pretty well, size 13. You had to work retail to get that one, man.
Hey, look, either that or like a what was it, like a grade 10, school 6.5
and
for the girls.
10.5, 13 sold really well. That shit, man.
Direct to consumer is powering Vans.
It's like Air Max LTDs.
An article written by Samantha McDonald for Footwear News. Vans is powered. Those. Oh, suck.
Eminem wears nothing but Air Max. I just wanted to bring that up.
The Air Max LTDs are basically like the M&Ms. That's basically what they are.
See, it's just like I'm trying to get to this van story. We just keep it up. I was waiting for that last phone call to go south. Like this whole not knowing who's calling.
It's kind of fun.
It is.
It is. I kind of, I like that aspect of it.
I was waiting for them to be like, you guys all suck and hang up.
I know.
Well, we know what phone call we're going to get next week then.
Yeah, I know, right? He was basically laid it out for our listeners. Vans has powered their parent company, VF Corp, to yet another earnings win. Vans saw revenue climb 25% during the third quarter, its strongest in the last 2 years. Vans posted total sales that hit $3.94 billion, up 8% and ahead of Wall Street forecasts. Much of Vans' success is owed to its direct-to-consumer online channel, which saw 50% growth year over year in the quarter. During the last analyst day, Vans said it expected the bulk of the brand's sales to come from its direct-to-consumer business model, targeting about $3 billion, or 60% of its revenues over the next 5 years.
32.
And instead of adapting to trends, Vans continues to invest in art, music, and street culture. A steady series of on-brand collaborations, including a partnership with the Van Gogh Museum, coupled with more durable technology in its shoes, such as the all-weather MTE collection, have also put Vans ahead of the pack. While Vans is best recognized for its old-school footwear, the slip-on shoes are gaining traction, becoming the brand's fastest-growing style this quarter.
6.
Wow.
Wait,
wow.
what?
You just did the math.
He did all the math. 8%, 50%.
And that's the answer you got.
Right. Out of $3 billion, you might want to redo your math. Let me see. I got news stories I want to get to. I got so many of them this week. Like last week, we were kind of dry. This is crazy. Nike signs its first esports sponsorship deal. An article written by Chris Morris. I'm sorry.
Chick Morris?
Wow.
Chick Morris.
Chick Morris?
Just remix that man's name.
Just love that Under Armour party, huh? Man? Still having hot flashes.
Chris Morris from Fortune.com. Nike is entering the esports game, following behind Adidas and PUMA. Nike has signed a 4-year deal with China's League of Legends, Pro League, agreeing to supply all squads with clothing and footwear starting this year. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but fans will be able to buy Nike products at live tournaments. The league consists of 16 teams and has one of the largest followings in the world. The announcement is Nike's first formal sponsorship of an esports team or competition, although they did feature an esports athlete in a marketing campaign last year. Beyond supplying clothes and shoes, Nike says it plans to work with esports athletes to custom design training programs to help them improve.
How?
I was going to say, like, what training program?
Hold up.
Like zero gravity or something?
Hold up. It was one sport. Wrestling. You said wrestling isn't a sport, right? So are these guys athletes?
How is just another sport?
What? Wrestling?
Yes.
It's not.
Because they're all white guys. He's like,
what? No,
they're not athletic.
They're not athletic.
It's black people. It's a lot of black people.
But no. Okay.
Professional wrestling?
Okay. No.
No, he's talking about WWE. It's not.
Like that. I'm not talking about professional wrestling like Olympic wrestling. I'm talking about Monday Night Raw type stuff.
But no, I'm just saying,
in
general.
Well, yeah, nobody agrees.
I'm saying in general.
They're athletes, but okay, wait. Time out.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the Olympics. And like, I don't know if I'm
that's what that's
Olympic
sport,
wrestling.
That's not sports.
No, you have to be an athlete to be a wrestler.
Yeah, you
however,
have to be an athlete.
You have to be an
not
athlete,
a
but it's
sport.
not an Olympic sport.
No, I get you on that.
I agree with you because it's not really competitive. That's why.
I mean, it's got championships that are predetermined.
That's my point. It's not a competitive sport, so therefore you can't have it in
But no,
But there's no stone cut. The stone cut stunner does not really knock you out. Like, I'm sorry.
No,
I mean, it probably could.
Stunner will put you in a wheelchair.
Pedigree or the power bomb.
You ever got put in the figure four?
Yes, certain moves. But like the Hulk Hogan leg drop is not gonna knock you out unconscious.
Okay, man.
I mean, if you got Big Bertha dropping a leg on you, you're not gonna be able to breathe.
Well, I was saying whatever goes on at Geno Manor is what goes on
There you
at
go.
Geno Manor. But
The reason I was asking that was because
You be wrestling with Medea.
ugh. Oh, first and foremost, that's a man.
free face rise, mustache rise, courtesy of
He's
Geno.
like, oh my goodness, I'd do anything for these Jordan 9s.
I'm not you. I'm not you. You know how you got your LeBrons.
Man, no,
Oh,
I
boy.
stick and move. You stay there for the foreplay, man. I'm straight.
So you just begging on old ladies in nursing homes, and just room by room.
Gotta do what you gotta do. No, the reason I brought that up is because you said they're athletes.
He did say that. Chick Morrison did.
Yeah, Chick Morris, unfortunately, gone.
Like what is it that they do that's like
They play video games.
It's
It's video
Chinese.
games, bro.
You said
There's nothing athletic.
What
about
I
country
it.
mean that's what I'm saying. Like
China's right. China's league.
China.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, is that what we come to where that's considered athletic?
Yo, it gets worse. Keep reading.
Yes. Beyond supplying clothes and shoes, Nike also.
Whatever, I'll get to it. At one point, esports was under consideration for inclusion in the 2024 Olympics. They will be a medal event in the 2022 Asian Games. It's being considered for the Olympics.
Well, I
bullshit.
did see
Huh?
some.
Video game.
That's bullshit.
I did see some where I think it's the University of Marquette. Like they have like a actual esports like team, like not intramural, but like
I get that, right?
What the
I
hell's
don't get-
intramural?
because you got chess teams, right? Like I get that part of it.
yeah, but I mean that's mental.
Yo, some video games.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Not the video games they playing. They flying drones everywhere. I'm playing Street Fighter.
Wow.
that'd be kind of cool. I want to join this.
I
team.
wonder what they're playing.
What?
What is the big esport game?
Probably 2K.
It's probably Call
No,
of
that's
Duty.
the African American community is. I'd rather see a 2K in the Olympics. That would be interesting.
You can.
wanna-
It's
you
called
wanna-
the NBA USA team.
No, I'm talking about when you play, like for real. When
You want to see a bunch of black guys play 2K
Yes,
and the
that'd be
Olympic medals on
hilarious.
them?
Yes.
I
They get to
don't know,
standing
man.
up when they losing. Like, that's what be classy. You cheat, man. This garbage, man. You ain't gonna call that church. Oh, now Brown can't make nothing. I'm gonna Kobe hit every shot. Like, that's the commentary alone would have been amazing.
They're gonna have to remove the reset button off the Xbox.
Wow. There's a lot of money to be made here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I get why
The number
Nike is-
one game is a game called Dota 2. I don't even know. I don't even know what number that is. It's like $175 million.
Okay,
That's Counter-Strike. I don't know, man. This is a whole thing I don't understand.
man. Yeah, I look. I'm not well versed on it myself. I understand why Nike is getting into it, just like Adidas and Puma did. But to say it's a sport, that's the part that I just draw the line. It's like, all right, man, come on. There's nothing athletic about it.
Yes, it is. Oh, how about the e-games? Every time you drop a shoe in the sneakers app. That should be part of e-games.
Yeah, it is. That is a competition.
That is foolish.
You ever tried winning a sneakers raffle?
Man, the computer be cheating, dog.
Absolutely. Trying to put your information in, dog. My credit card say, why do I have to type in my expiration date? Like, come on, man. Like,
I
ever
can
tried-
order shoes off here all the time. All of a sudden, I got to type
you
it
have
back
to
in.
beat the computer, aka the bots. So it's just like real life.
You ever tried remembering your sneakers password when the countdown clock is going?
But you got Face ID, but your face don't recommend.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
It makes sense now.
but no, I mean, I get why they get into it, but I think there should be a clear distinction between athletes and whatever these guys do.
They train.
Okay.
They play video games all day
They
long.
train.
Okay. Everybody trains for their job. Like you train.
No,
to be
they
a-
don't.
You train.
No, they do
Okay.
not.
I mean, look, some jobs just don't have training. So.
Okay. I'm gonna take that back.
Hey, you work at Chrysler.
Most
You
jobs.
came out your mouth.
Most jobs. Say what now?
You work there. Out of all the people, like the people on the line, they don't train for their job. They just go in there and just do it all the time. Like,
No, they do train.
That dude at Shoe Pal is trained for something.
Oh yeah, he trains. He
What,
gonna be on-
MMA?
Yeah, he's.
You posted
You know what? Honestly, though, out of that video that I
that
posted,
was Chic. That was actually Chic. They come to find out it was Chic.
it was
Okay,
Chic.
my bad.
Where did they find that
What,
video?
Don't Shoe Palace own sheet?
Where did they find the
know.
Chic video? Fucking
so.
2017. Did they all close?
No, they reopened.
I think they only on the West Coast.
They reopened. Yeah, they reopened. Yep.
But I gotta say though, the most impressive thing about that video is the fact that the guy kept popping back up. Just when I thought that body slam had to be it. Like,
did you see how he had to walk off? He could barely stand.
No, yeah,
up.
his girlfriend had to help him walk off. But every time he got slammed, he popped right back up, and I'm like, dude, like, just stay down.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean,
adrenaline, man.
I expect that type of customer service from Sheik.
That's if they even have anybody.
I was gonna say that. It depends on what was said.
I mean, you have this in a size 11.
Well, he was like, esports is a sport. They are athletes. What?
Usually what kind of starts them type of fights is, I ain't get my Jordan. Y'all over here, y'all be holding shoes, man. Y'all be on some bullshit. Like,
yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, all the time.
Nike addresses complaints over incorrect Kobe for Pro advertising. An article written by Mike DeStefano for Soul Collector. Nike brought back the draft day Nike Kobe 4 with this updated Procho format in celebration of the 2019 NBA All-Star Weekend, which took place in Charlotte, North Carolina. Nike promised various cosmetic upgrades along with the addition of full-length Zoom Air in the midsole. But upon receiving the Kobe 4, many customers were disappointed to find out that Nike's promise of full-length Zoom Air was not met. Nightwing of WearTesters.com was one of the first outlets to make note of the false advertising. In Nike's original press release, they stated that the shoe would boast full-length Zoom Air. However, they changed it soon after, calling it a typo. The change was not publicly noted, so many people still believe that they were getting full-length Zoom Air as originally promised. This isn't the first time Nike's been accused of false advertising. Back in 2017, a Chinese television station called out Nike for claiming a retro version of the Hyperdunk 08 from the Fade to Black pack was equipped with Zoom cushioning when it wasn't. Also in that
we tried to copy that shit when they didn't have no Zoom Air in it.
Also in that same year. Horrible. Also in that same year, Nike was called out once again by Nightwing for the false advertisement of the Tech Inside the Stealth Air Jordan 15. In both instances, Nike agreed to refund any purchases of misled customers. I don't get why they just can't put it in there. Like, I mean, how much more does it cost to put Zoom Air in there versus not?
I don't know. I really don't understand. Like, you have Zoom Air. Ain't like it's Boost and you lost the contract with Boost and now you got to finesse your way until you find the next big thing in your technology. Like, you make a lot of Zoom Air. I was
going to say,
Beaverton, yeah.
Isn't it already in most of the products already anyway?
No. They make it. They make the bags themselves in Beaverton. Right.
And then they ship it overseas. All right.
So.
Right. So it's in your hands. Like, it's your technology. It's not like,
but I guess like what you just said, is it really that much of a cost difference?
That's my point. So why not even do it? Like, why just not, especially the originals? I didn't have the Kobe 4 originally, so I can't tell you.
Did they? I think they might have had it. I'm not sure. I don't think I had the Philadelphia one.
Well, even if it didn't, the whole premise of the whole Procho thing is an upgraded version of the original. So
yeah, the Kobe, like, my thing is you just did it with the up-tempo Kobe 1 Procho. You put full-length Zoom Air in it. So why couldn't you do it for the next shoe?
Yeah. That's just Nike for you, though. I feel like they, like, low-key are doing, like, they got some missteps that, like, won't hurt them in the grand scheme of things because nobody cares and nobody's paying attention. But you got, like, but
it's like we said before, when the brand is that large.
They can get away with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough people to care. 1, 2, if they did it in some off-whites, oh yeah, they would have felt it. They would have skimmed somebody out there off-white Zoom Air.
Kanye says he's fighting to be Adidas creative director.
I thought he was making gospel albums.
Low-key, he was getting down on that one video.
But that's his element, though. We never question that. It's just the other BS he be saying. But I feel like he's probably going to get creative director at Adidas. But
yeah, I mean, at the rate they going, might as well.
Yeah. An article written by Ella Chokrek. I don't know, whatever. For Footwear News, in a sit-down interview with Hood by Air founder Shane Oliver, Kanye revealed that he's been fighting for the role of Adidas creative director. Kanye also took a job at Celine designer Hedi Slimane, questioning why he has the right to show his point of view 4 times over and get all the resources 4 times in a row. What is he talking? Honestly, I was trying to find what he was talking about, what he referenced to in his interview. I guess he was mad at some other designer. I guess he felt like he got more resources, or
he always mad at somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, he's finally coming back down to earth and feeling the black effect. Oh, you have more resources than me. Like, did you forget where you came from?
Yes.
I mean,
that is, for him, yes, he did forget.
Can Kanye really claim that at this point? Like, that people get more resources than him?
Yes, you can, because I feel like when when Hollywood or whoever, because you become successful, yes, you have more resources than us and what you had before, but you may not have the same resources as the next person did. You know what I mean? Like the next person up in the echelon, or maybe Caucasian or whatever. So I feel like he maybe have a point to something, because the higher we go, they don't open the doors wider. Maybe
the better question is he the right messenger for that then?
I mean, I think anybody could be the messenger for that.
No, but my point is sometimes the message gets lost because of the messenger.
Depends how it's delivered.
Like if Chris Brown came out and started talking about like domestic violence, you're not really trying to hear from him.
Again, it depends how it's delivered.
If he's
how is it Domino's? I mean, come on, man. Huh? He kept asking how is it delivered? How is it delivered?
I'm just saying.
How is it Domino's? Man? Not gonna deliver pizza. And they worse at delivering. Pizza is terrible.
I was gonna say, yeah, you might get yours that day.
I was gonna say, who gets pizza delivered anymore?
I didn't know what.
I was just saying, like,
but you said it was all about the delivery,
right?
Wait, what?
Well, who gets pizza delivered anymore?
Me?
How late? You that late?
Well, some of us don't have a chauffeur where they could take us to Domino's and pick up our pizza.
I know you. Yeah, you don't.
I don't.
You got sample pairs that you can put on and just be like, oh, I just walk over there.
Some of us don't have
pizza, bro. That's hot.
You got a
like, this smoked Italian sausage with this savory barbecue sauce ain't dropped yet. So let us know what you think about it. See, it's a look-see sample, look-see taste. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's the delivery you get.
I mean, we could start a pizza company, but then Guru just start his own.
Good. And then, I could lie about what's inside of it, like Kobe.
Or you could complain and everybody say that something's wrong with it, but really something is wrong with it.
Yep. And then we could be like, you know what? Dang, my mentor. Now we said that's the mama mentality.
Or maybe you could just be mad that everybody says that another pizza that's older is better, and you just can't get over the fact that
guys, like,
maybe your pizza just isn't there.
I know we use the pizza as like this code.
It's like I want to be into this conversation, but I can't follow.
So now one pizza body slammed the other one. Did that bring you back?
Why are pizzas? I still get pizza delivered.
Yeah, I did too. So Gino.
Yeah, Gino.
I mean, I'll just go pick it up.
Gino rich ass.
Right.
I usually go pick it up because that way I can stop at the store.
Not because your safe house is about by two hungry Howies, so you can go get it. You got a safe house.
Gino's the only person. Gino's house is the only person that has the door with like the eye slit that you can open up.
I know who it is, man.
Code word.
You never know.
Oh man,
somebody might be creeping on me.
All the people
You're the only one creeping.
You go get pizza. New Balance gave out free beer for running. An article written by Mike DeStefano for Soul Collector. New Balance has a brand new pub in London called the Runaway that will reward brew-loving runners with free beer. New Balance has collaborated with fitness app Strava to open the pub as runners prepare for the Virgin Money London Marathon later this year. At the pub, patrons will pay with the miles that they have logged on their Runaway card, not actual currency. 4 different challenges will be available to complete from now until April that include milestones ranging from logging 13 miles to a full 10K. 50% completion of each challenge will be rewarded with 2 beers, each for you and a friend, while 100% completion will provide you and a friend with 3 free beers. So you only get 1 extra beer for doing the other 50% of the challenge. Besides being a traditional pub, the Runaway will also house a gym and weight area for anyone looking to get some extra training in before, I should stress this, before a couple of drinks. Like, Lord knows the damage is going to happen after. Imagine being drunk on the
people who drink beer, the only running they doing is to the nearest happy hour. And while you do all that running, when you can go get a happy hour, get a draft beer for $2. 1, 2.
Have you ever got beer in London?
I don't know.
I mean,
we weren't invited.
You've been. Tell us.
We weren't invited to London.
I'm just saying, like, it's not cheap.
Was you walking the London streets in your samples?
I wasn't running.
I see you were walking, huh?
He left us and took
his samples.
Carl Winslow. Yeah. Thought family matters.
I just want everybody.
I thought family matters, Caesar.
That was nice. I give it.
That was neat.
That was real.
That was
neat.
nice clean.
That was clean. I'll give him that. He colored in the lines on that one. Okay, one, I just want everybody to know that Guru said that, not me. Two, I didn't take anybody. People showed up. Three, one of us say no to that trip.
One for all for one? No?
Oh, yeah. Fuck, yeah, y'all suck.
I mean, you either could have been us or Boo Scott. See the ticket.
No, I can see why he has beef. Inside story. I'm not telling anybody till my memoir 40 years from now. Anyway, for any of our listeners, either
the
living
African
in
Caesar story, sponsored by Crep.
Shit, I doubt it.
Definitely tuning in.
Highly doubt it at this point. Yeah, real quick. It's funny because they sent me a care pack and I sent it back. It was funny because they was like, "Oh no, use our hashtag and shout us out on social media." I'm like, "Fuck you!" Like, take this and your shit back. Anyway, for any of our listeners either living in or planning on visiting London, you can check out New Balance's pub at 6468 Charing Crossroads.
You hear that, Steve?
My thing is, why you make people run then give them a beer? That's like say, okay, after you burn these calories, here goes some chips.
I don't understand how
Guru,
this is worded.
That's
though.
what they do.
I was gonna say, all right, like, yeah, he's thinking.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, seriously, the guy get 13 miles in. So I mean,
That's
what's
what
one
I
beer
didn't
gonna do to you?
understand. 13 miles to a full 10K.
Yes.
A 10K is like less than 7 miles. So wouldn't it, like, doesn't that seem like it would
You
be?
know, they got different measurement over there, so.
Yeah, I know they do, but
Yeah,
like a
so-
mile's.
I'm not running a mile for no beer.
No, hell no. I'm not running
That's
7
straight
miles
up.
to a beer.
No, I'm good. I'm with you.
I barely crossed the street earlier to get a beer.
Oh, you'll love this too, by the way.
It was cold, though.
Despite reporting growth that doubled expectations, Foot Locker is closing 165 stores across the country.
I can see that.
Got to save money after.
You giving everybody checks?
Imagine
Exactly.
working retail and you getting laid off, and then they turn that store into a goat.
Exactly.
Drop off.
A drop-off location.
Oh man, that's sad. That is really sad though. And Foot Locker's not the only one though. Like JCPenney's is closing a bunch of stores.
I'm surprised JCPenney's
I feel
still
like
open.
the reason that
You say Target?
Yeah,
What?
Target.
I feel like people are like they have to transition to that because people don't buy general release stuff. They only buy hype stuff, limited stuff. So that's why it's like, why are we keeping 300 or 2,000 stores open when only the good stuff that people really want only can be allocated to 100 stores?
But you know, the problem I have with that is the fact that they constantly opening up new stores.
Well, it's kind of like a remodel. It's like,
But that's what I'm saying. So the money that you wasting to do that,
There's just
you're going to end
over-
up closing the store in maybe like, 2-3 years after the fact? Like, your forecasting is just all off.
well, I
They
guess
have a lot of stores.
yeah, that's
The
what
Foot Locker?
it is,
Yeah.
all over the
They're
world.
just
yeah.
over 3,300 stores.
Is that just in the U.S. or is that worldwide?
I keep talking and I'll get you that answer.
Yeah, worldwide is very well. They got a lot of stores.
That's what I'm just saying. It's
So
like,
maybe just 33 or worldwide.
Yeah, I think it's worldwide.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they constantly open up new. I mean, they just opened up the
Power store.
The power store. So I mean, you think
What's
about
that?
them opening up that store, and then how many stores they just now closing?
Is that where Jumpman's at right now?
Is that no? He was
He's too old.
too old
Remember,
for that.
They got an age limit to go in there.
they got them blocked off at the Velvet
They got
Road.
I feel like they
Ghostbusters
opened the
logo
power
with
store
Jumpman's
to
face on it.
close more of those side street stores.
Right, which is okay, but again, we talking about now you.
Because they did that to replace the store at
Yep.
Eastland. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then you still got the store that's on 7 Mile. You got the store that's on 8 Mile and Gratiot, which is
That's
down
what
the
I'm
street.
saying.
So I don't understand.
So you
that.
still got all these stores, and you putting money in the stores rather than. Well, I mean, you also putting money in the partnerships with GOAT. So
That's a lot of money.
yeah, so they got to recoup that.
Pretty
They
sure
can double
it
dip
is.
that though.
Because I'm telling you, come the end of quarter
They
two,
pay-
they're gonna
they-
be looking at them earnings like.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't cheap to
They
get T
pay,
Grizzly to come
they
to the
pay
store. Right?
resale.
I'm sure it was.
They pay resale value for a resale company. That's crazy.
That made me think right there.
That's what they paid.
Like I took a time to
So,
reflect.
that's crazy because I don't feel like that
And-
company's worth that much.
And GOAT just offers a service.
And my thing is, it's not like they're leading.
They're not a product. It's just a service.
Well, now Foot Locker is providing the product.
And the service.
I mean, if you look at it, like,
So basically, Foot Locker paid them to do the work for them.
Essentially.
Smart.
Yeah, here, do my dirty work. I'm going to wash my hands.
Because GOAT isn't even like, if you look at a company like StockX is like a tech company.
Yes. Technically, yeah.
But like GOAT just offers a service.
Speaking of which, we got a chance to interview Mr.
Lubér.
Josh Luber. I told him he should put the apostrophe on his name since he's so big now. But yeah, we got a chance to go to StockX headquarters, which was pretty dope, by the way. I gotta give it some. It was a lot different than the last time I saw it. They was doing some renovations. But we're gonna give you a chance to listen to the interview right here, right now. This is our interview once again with CEO of StockX, Josh Luber. We are live at StockX headquarters, and we are with the CEO, Josh Luber. I feel like I should say Josh Luber because it's more.
Because I'm French?
Not even that. Well, I didn't know that.
I'm not French.
I didn't know that. But since you just, since you so big now, I just feel like the apostrophe.
Wow,
it's almost like the blue check on Twitter.
Is that what happens?
Yeah,
you
like
apostrophe
you just
over your name, and then you get a French accent?
Exactly.
Okay,
so if I ever become big enough, I'm going to add an apostrophe. I don't know where, though. I'm trying to figure out where my name would be.
Put them over all the vowels. Fuck it.
I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. I just go by Caesar for the rest of my life. And then, of course, we have his right-hand man, Sadale. We just going to call you Dale, right?
What's up?
Okay. Wow. Like man of many words right here.
Yeah, thank you for that very loquacious introduction.
It's all good. I'm here.
No, but first, let me just say we appreciate you giving us your time. It's been like, 3 months? We've been trying to lock down this interview. It's been
no comment.
Yep. See, so we finally here. Guru, Gino with me, Jumpman, and
what's going on, folks?
Yeah, couldn't make it.
Yo.
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate you giving us your time, and I got to give you your credit before we get into the questions, because I saw the video. I think it was in New York, where you were getting grilled like hard.
That was fun.
Yeah, and you stood there and you kept your composure. I think at some point I would have just Macho Man Randy Savage my way through the crowd.
That goes through your head at some point,
like you did at Disney World.
That wasn't me. That was my in-laws. Don't ever go on vacation with your in-laws.
No, I'm talking about when we went for SneakerCon, Fort Lauderdale. We went to Orlando. This dude is like a 3-year-old getting his pass. Like, can you hurry up? Can you hurry up? I'm like, see, man.
The park was going to close in like 3 hours when he had so much time.
Bro,
why are you bringing up all this extra stuff? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Were you at Disney World with your kids?
No. Right. So we went down to Disney.
Because if you take your kids to Disney World, you're allowed to freak out on people. It's just crazy.
I feel like if you spend as much money as I spent this past Christmas, you get to freak out just on GP. But what, Gino? What did you do?
You didn't give me no instructions.
I'm obviously trying to get back to the email. I'm gonna have to do hella editing at this point.
While he's figuring out the phone, I do want to say that I do apologize for the delay in setting this up. The fact that your daughter here is did Katie tell you why it's so hard to discuss? Because I travel all the time, and so whenever I'm in town, 100% my goal is I get home so I can put my kids to sleep. And man, like weekday night at 7:30, like that's when my kids go to sleep.
I respect that.
Like,
actually,
it's tough to be in town and be like, no, I'm not coming home tonight. Like at that time,
right?
And it's like I could have done it at 6, I could do it at 9, but like I got to be there, at 7 to put my kids to sleep.
As a father, I actually respect that a lot. So. Yeah, it's real tough.
I appreciate you guys figuring out to make it happen here, and it's fun. We could come down here and you guys can see how. When's the last time you were at the office and how much this place has changed?
I know. I was just talking about how the court.
Right?
I'm actually mad about that because I thought I was gonna get some shots up.
No, we got 30 people that work on the court now. It's like.
I can still get shots up. Forget them. Like
they can just knock over their computers.
Right.
We're close. Though. If you saw all the renovation going on, we probably only have another like 4 to 6 weeks, and then finally get everyone off the court into real desks, into real offices. Like it's good that we're sort of moving that way, and finally after 2 years to open the court back up for the rest of people so they can play. Because that was the point of this. People used to play basketball there, and yeah.
Well, actually, since we kind of on that mode, then I'm gonna kind of start backwards.
Sure.
StockX Day 2019. Like, what do you guys have planned? If you can talk about that at all.
Yeah, the StockX Day the last time in 2018 when we did it, we invited. There was there were 150 people that were able to attend.
Yeah.
And that was based on the venue. We had this venue we were using. The auditorium sat about 150 people. And of that, we had about 75 that we personally invited, friends, family, investors, business partners. And then 75 we opened up to the world and said, anybody can attend to apply.
Right.
And to attend, all you do is just email us and tell us why you want to come.
Right.
There were over 5,000 people that applied for 75 spots. So we're like, well, crap, so the goal of this year is to make it bigger. Now, it's not going to be 5,000, but can we go from 150 to 300 or 400 or 500 or some number in that range where we can allow more people to come who want to come? And so that's the primary goal. After that, there's going to be a lot of the same stuff in terms of showing people the city, showing people StockX, showing people what we do. There'll be a part where I will talk. There'll be a part where we do Q&A. And then that last piece, sort of that last 10% is, frankly, we're still working it out, but it'll be something new and fun and exciting. And I would say it's a surprise, and I can't tell you, but honestly, we're still working through a lot of it. But the core of it is letting people come and see all the stuff we do.
You should throw the last stage of the party on the riverboat.
Maybe.
That'd be dope.
By the way, you know that thing is called the Queen?
Yes.
All right. So I didn't know it was called the Queen, and it's a true story. So I was here.
Is it? Oh, it's the princess.
The princess.
He still doesn't know the name.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Princess, Queen,
listen,
same thing, right?
I moved to Detroit 4 years ago. It's my home now, so I didn't know it was called the Princess. So I was at an event at Kobo, and this is I've been here 6 months, and I'm walking in there, and it's myself and Greg Schwartz, who's the COO of StockX. And as we're walking into this event, they're like, oh, what's your name? Josh, check you in. Great. What's your favorite Detroit landmark? And I just moved to Detroit. And people were saying Comerica, and I was like, that. And I just pointed at the boat, and I didn't know what it was, right? And I was kind of just trying to be an asshole.
Right.
And the woman's like, oh, the princess? And I was like, sure. And so she printed it out, and my name tag then said Josh the Princess. And so that serves me right. So anyway, the rest of that event, I walked around and said Josh the Princess.
I can only imagine the look of confusion by people because, with all this non-gender identity and all this other stuff, I can only imagine how people interpret it.
I'm going to assume because other people, Greg said Greg Comerica Park, and people had whatever. So I think people got it, but at least I thought it was funny because I just walked around with the name tag that said Josh the Princess. So,
wow.
So anyway, so maybe we will do StockX Day 4 there as
the Princess as a joke. It's a joke,
and to bring it back to where this all started.
Are you going to have a name tag?
You
got to.
It's at my desk. It's on my bulletin board on my desk. It's been there for 4 years.
I'm just saying, if you do the party, you have to walk around with that.
Apparently,
name tag, yeah. All right, so I guess we'll start from. The first question I had was you started off as Campless. For those who are still stuck in 2006, started off as Campless, and it's evolved into what this is right now. Was this your plan from the beginning, or over the course of time it just evolved into what it's become now?
So it's a really interesting question to think about it because the idea was 100% the idea from the beginning, i.e., can we create a marketplace that operates like the stock market?
Right.
And can we start with sneakers? And that idea was the same from the beginning.
Right.
Could we have imagined or planned that I was going to meet one of the most successful business people in the world and become partners with them and have a company that employs 650 people in 3 years? No, never in a million years, because you can't build a billion-dollar company in one step. It's all one foot in front of the other. So it's what is the one thing that you're doing to move from here to there? And back then it was talking to people to try to figure out who could I work with on this idea that I had. And, I spoke to everybody in the sneaker industry, Nike, eBay, Foot Locker, Complex, you name it, basically pitching this idea of a sneaker stock market, basically. And everybody said, oh, well, that's kind of cool, right? But what we would like to do is have you do this and X, Y, and Z for us and our business.
Right.
And fair enough. I didn't think Nike was going to change their whole business and build a stock market. And then I happened to meet Dan, and we happened to get in a room together, and I shared this idea, and him and Greg look at me with pure shock, and they're like, yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to build a sneaker stock market. I showed up at the meeting thinking I was going to have to convince these guys to build a sneaker stock market, and they showed up at the meeting thinking they were going to have to convince me to build a sneaker stock market. So the craziness of all of that. So anyway, there's been a lot of examples of that you could never have planned. So to say that I thought we could be here is not at all true. But the idea is still the same idea from the beginning.
Right. No, not that, we're on that level yet. But like you start off with the plan, and then over the course of time, certain decisions are made that lead you down certain paths, or you encounter certain opportunities that you didn't foresee, and then it just kind of changes the trajectory, or you come across new ideas to expand upon.
Yeah.
What you have. All right. So as CEO, what does StockX, as far as what does it represent to you, like as far as the sneaker community and how they see it?
What is StockX?
Yeah, like how do you think people perceive StockX?
Well, people is a tough word. Like I know. I think I know the people you're talking about, but StockX is for everybody, right? It's not just for the hardcore, sneaker kid that grew up in the culture and always wore Air Jordans. It's not just for the new hype kid who's trying to flip Yeezys. Like, it's for everybody. And particularly now when we think about how it moves forward, like StockX is about access. It's about access at every level. If you want a pair of $1,000 Yeezys or a rare shoes, then great. Like, here's a place that you can buy them where it's real, or it's authentic, or the right price. But that person would never in a million years try to buy a pair of Jordans on eBay 4 years ago, right? And so to have somewhere where that's access, where they can get it, because today they might not know how to buy it. They might know that sneaker store sells it, but they're not willing to sleep outside of that sneaker store for 2 days.
Right.
Or they might not know how to navigate eBay. Or maybe they know how to navigate eBay, they don't know what's real. Or maybe they know what's real, but they don't know what the right price is. So it's just about access. And again, it's not even about the super expensive stuff. I mentioned Greg earlier, who's our COO and third co-founder with Dan Gilbert and I. Greg, and we'll sit all here and laugh. His favorite shoe, he wears a Air Force One Flyknit. And he's not a steer. It's just a shoe he likes, right?
What?
Yeah.
That's the one that Robert Kraft wears all the time, right?
Yeah.
And
Greg,
that's
not the guy you want to be attached to
Greg's,
right now.
Notwithstanding whatever happened down in Miami, Greg might have more of a Robert Kraft vibe than us, right? But here's the point. This is the shoe that he likes. So be it, right?
Yeah.
If he goes into Foot Locker, he can buy an Air Force One Flyknit any day of the week for $120, right?
Right.
But you walk into Foot Locker, there's 3 colors on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
They've made 40 colors of that shoe in the last 6 years since they created it.
Right.
So if he wants any of the other colors besides the 3 that are available right now at Nike.com or Foot Locker, where's he going to get it? They're all available on StockX.
Right.
And so it's about that access where, a quarter of the shoes we sell on StockX are less than retail. So it's not just the super hype, super shoes that we're all trying to figure out how to get. It's just about, giving Greg, yesterday he would have gone into Foot Locker and he could buy any of the 300 pairs of shoes that are on the wall. Well, and today he shops on StockX, there's 35,000 pairs available to him. Right. And that's what it's about. It's about access. Now, we can talk about what it means to different groups of people and how their experiences changed. And I know sort of how you're thinking about that. But, you start, this is what it's like across the board, the same to everybody. It's about access.
Right. Well, you're kind of right, because my next question was going to be, resellers seem to hate you. They hate you almost as much as they hate having a real job. And so... how does that?
How long it took to write that joke?
I know I stayed up all night, by the way, too. But
certain resellers absolutely hate us, right?
Yeah,
and
it seems like the majority. Not all of them.
Well, there's a whole lot of people that sell shoes on StockX, and right.
Well, yeah. I mean, people hate stuff, but then they end up using it if it benefits them.
It's a love-hate relationship,
yeah, basically. Because the argument I hear a lot is, oh, well, it's hurting the prices and all this other stuff, and they think you guys are behind the scenes adjusting the prices.
Well, the second part of that is just 100% false. Absolutely not. But the model, right? Because it is a pure free market model. We do not touch anything. Inevitably, an open market model leads to, in the beginning, depressed prices. Prices come down. Because what used to happen is the resellers, and the more they hate us, the more they fall into this category. There were certain people who used to be able to win off of imperfect information. They were the only ones that had this shoe. They were the only ones that had this shoe, right? Oh, you want these Yeezys? They're $900. Nobody else has these. Well, guess what? There's 7 other people over here that are also trying to sell these, but there was no transparency to see what everybody had and what everyone was willing to sell it for.
Right.
And as soon as you add transparency and allow everyone to come here, well, now these other 7 people are also want to sell, and they said, I'll sell mine for $700. I don't need to sell mine for $900.
Right.
And you get to a true market price. And so, yeah, like those people that used to be able to gouge other people off of sneakers, like that's gone. Like, sorry, not sorry. Like that's the way that markets work, and it's more efficient. Now, as more and more people come into StockX, you have more demand and more buyers that come in there. Prices do go back up a little bit, but they never go back to that time where people were just ripping people off.
Right. Now, okay, so kind of piggybacking off of that, we opened it up to our listeners the other day to kind of submit questions, and one of the questions I thought was pretty good was, what's to stop somebody from selling a shoe on StockX and then creating another account bidding against that sale just to inflate the price? Is there any safeguards against that, or is that just something that's that's the good and bad of it all, I guess?
Well, so the safeguard against that exact scenario is that there's two sides of the transaction, the sellers and the buyers.
Right.
There's a lot of issues around the sellers not doing what they're supposed to do. And we can talk about that, right?
Okay.
If you sell a pair of shoes, there's nothing I can do that can forcibly make you send that to me, right? If you decide you don't want to sell that shoe and you never send it to StockX, there's nothing I can do. I can't come to your house and make you send that shoe, right?
I mean, you could, but
well, we'll see how that goes, right? But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Right.
On the other side, though, you got a buyer's PayPal or credit card that gets transacted immediately,
right.
And they're not getting their money back. Like there's no way to scam on the buy side like that. Not to scam us. If you have a stolen credit card or whatever, that's a different issue.
Right.
But so the point in that scenario, if you're going on there and artificially bidding a shoe up, what will happen is if you bid too high, somebody is going to sell you a shoe. Somebody is going to accept that bid and sell you a shoe, and now you're stuck having to buy that shoe, right?
But it's your own shoe, though. I guess that's the point.
No. What you're doing, the reason that someone would bid it up is because you want somebody else to come in and buy the shoe you're trying to sell.
Yes.
But what happens is and this is the beauty of at a bid-ask market where everything happens at one place. In eBay, there's just one shoe, right? So you can shill bid up that because you're trying to get someone else to come buy it. In StockX, it's many to many. You're not raising the price against one shoe. You're raising the price against the whole market. So let's say that you're selling a Jordan 11 Concord size 10, and you also try to bid it up more, and now you're bidding it for more than
it's just going to go past the lowest price available.
What's going to happen is I'm going to come in, or he's going to come in and sell you their Jordan 11 Concord. Oh shit, that guy's got a bid for $400 on a Jordan 11 Concord. It's only $350 at market. Right. You're going to end up buying it from somebody else, and you're not getting your money back on that. Right. So the system protects that scenario of doing it. We can talk about the other side. There's some issues on the other side too.
Right.
But so the system protects against that issue.
Right. So basically, just to make it clear for everybody,
the
prices that so if I was to go on StockX right now and look for like a Jordan 1, like you said, what I see presently is the lowest price available.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you do try to artificially raise it, it's just going to basically price you out of the
and someone else can come and will sell it to you. Right.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the bid-ask model. By the way, and it's worth noting, right? We didn't make any of this up. Right, like all we did was copy how the stock market works and apply it from and stock market has been a pretty efficient form of commerce for hundreds of years, and so all we did was we pointed it. It used to be on stocks and bonds and oil and gas to new commodities, to sneakers and streetwear and watches and handbags.
Right,
and so we didn't make any up. So the economic theory of why this is better, of why it's more efficient, was pretty sound.
Right.
No, our challenge was to build a website, to be able to market and bring people in and customer service and ops and all that.
Right.
But the economic theory was really sound, and that's the really interesting part about this is we didn't make it up, right? We're just copying how the stock market works.
Right.
Yeah. I think what kind of helps against what you were talking about is that their sizes. Like on eBay, you bid on that shoe on that size, as opposed to StockX, there are different sizes. And if you have a size 9, you trying to finesse to get the price up, you're not the only one trying to sell a size 9 in that Jordan 1.
Right.
I think that's kind of protects it as well.
Yep.
My question is, with with a lot of stores like Round 2 or other places say, hey man, these sneakers these shoes was fake and they got the StockX tag. What are some of your things you combat to do those fake hand tags or hang tags and things like that?
Yeah, so I'm really glad you brought that up because it's
that's kind of a badge of honor though when they start faking your stuff.
Right. Well, so the first time that we saw, you can go on eBay right now and search. You can buy fake StockX tags. on eBay or anywhere else. And the first time I saw that, like that, people were making fake tags. My like gut reaction was like, motherfucker. And then 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? Like, like there's a bit of, it's like great, like they're trying to be like us and copy us. And, at the end of the day, today, our tags are not smart tags. There's no chips in them. There's not blockchain built. It's not meant to be a chain of custody, a provenance thing that if you sell a pair of shoes to him, that he can hit it and then verify it's real. And that's unfortunate because eventually we will get there and we'll be able to create that. Today, if you're not buying it from us, like we're not guaranteeing it's real. You can take a tag, you can put it on a fake shoe. You can take a real tag, put it on a fake shoe. You can take a fake tag and put it on another shoe. Like there's nothing we can do about that today, and that's just a function. Now, we've changed our tags and we'll probably change our tag again soon and try to keep some people guessing in terms of the fake ones. But until there's actual chips built into stuff, there's no way to really guarantee that. But that said, I think we're all probably in for a nice treat sooner than we think, which is the brands doing it. Like, we don't want to go too far down the path of building technology into chips because at some point, man, like Nike's going to have a chip in every shoe. And every kid with an app's going to be able to hit it and tell you exactly it's real. It was made at this factory by this Nike employee on this day. And, like, all this stuff's going to go out the window. And that's good. We want authentication to go away. Authentication for us is a necessary part of the business. There's a lot of value in it because a lot of people don't authenticate. And so for that reason, like, we get value out of it. But for us, it just supports the bigger model. For us, it's about the stock market model. And authentication is just part of that. When that goes away, we'll be more than happy for it to go away. And for everyone to sell authentic shoes, that'll be great.
Right. Kind of when you were talking, it kind of made me think of you were talking about the authentication possibly going away in the future. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first StockX day. I didn't come last year because for whatever reason the email y'all sent went to my spam folder. Mm-hmm. But I plan to go
one StockX day in person.
So I remember the first StockX day. I think the question came up about trading, online trading. What has stopped you guys from doing that yet?
Oh, you mean for like us sort of playing both sides of the market?
Yeah, so like basically instead of buying a shoe, two people can just trade it, send it to you guys, authenticate it, and then.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. There's a couple things in the same category. So trading, size swaps is another one. Legit checks is another one. We have a couple of these things, these scenarios that exist that people ask us a lot, right, to be able to do that. The problem is that people don't really want to pay for these things. And we tested it. So for a long time, people were asking us to do legit checks, right? And I said, oh, we'll pay for it. We'll legit check. We want to send the shoes and make sure it's real. And so then we opened up I think we took like the 50 people that had emailed us and said they would pay for it. We said, listen, we're going to run a beta test. It's $20. Do you want to legit check a shoe? And not one person said yes. Not one of 50, right? And so trading is an interesting thing because if you trade a pair of shoes with someone else, for us, that's two shoes that are passing through. So it's like we would literally need to charge each person 9.5% of the value of the shoe to make it the same cost that it costs, because we still have to unbox it, we still have to take it out, the authenticator still has to look at it, like all the exact same price. Then it has to get reboxed, relabeled, ship it back through. So at scale, it's the exact same thing, and now I have to do it twice. And I just don't think there's enough people that would pay 9.5% each to trade a shoe with someone else, because first of all, just sell it and buy the other shoe you want. It's essentially the same thing. Right. And so, but it's also one of those things that if enough people actually ask for it and show that they're willing to pay for it, then we will add it. A really good example of that is a firm. We were the last people in the sneaker industry of all the major players to add a firm. And we felt a certain way about it, which is basically buying shoes on credit. Yeah, it's something. And we felt a certain way about it, and I didn't really know. And a firm kept saying, "Listen, everyone else is doing it." And we looked, and it was like Flight Club, Goat, Stadium Goods, eBay, like literally everybody else. And then it was all of our customers were like, "How come you don't have a firm? Everyone else has a firm." And we're like, "Okay, like fine." Everyone else, like, you guys want it, like we'll add it. Right. And so if there's enough, we listen to the customers. But like one or two people wanting to trade is just not enough. And you tell me, like, I think that's expensive if you want to trade shoes with somebody and 9.5% each.
I mean,
You know, even if you give it slight discount, like
I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
Like I personally would like it because now it gives me an avenue. Like it kind of saves me the legwork of having to find somebody and then setting it up to where we're gonna send it to the I don't trust you, you don't trust me. So
yeah,
a mutual party in which to send it so that we both feel secure in sending off our shoes. And so, I don't know. Me personally, I think it would be a good idea, but I mean, it'd be interesting to know.
But there's enough liquidity on most sneakers in StockX that, like, if you wanted to trade the shoe that you have for another shoe, just sell it and buy that shoe. Like, there's enough.
I wear size 15.
Yeah, well, that.
It's
that's fair.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Before I ask my next question, I don't know if anybody's had one. Okay. Well, this kind of leads me to the next question. So, I guess I should ask you first. If you can, kind of break down the process as far as like how shoes from the point of purchase to delivery. What's the process of authentication?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about the process through it all. I mean, obviously, every shoe, every product, every piece of streetwear, handbag, watches, the actual authentication is different depending on the product. But, you know, after a transaction occurs, a buyer and seller have agreed, that seller is going to send it to us. Depending on where they're located geographically, they're going to send it to one of our 4 authentication centers. We have one in Tempe, Arizona, one in Detroit where our headquarters is, one in New Jersey right outside of the city, outside of New York City, and one in London. And we'll probably open up 2 more this year. We'll probably open up one in Tokyo, one in Amsterdam is, I think, where it's going to play out. And so we're going to take possession of that as soon as we can. So you're going to send it to the closest thing, and you'll print out a label, and it'll just automatically have wherever you're going to send it to. Everything shows up in an authentication center. 7 a.m. UPS truck comes, and at 7 a.m. that room is empty. Right. And at 7 p.m. that day, that room is empty. So everything that comes in that day gets processed that day and goes out that day. Okay. And so it comes in. You got to remember this is now at scale. So you're doing, in some cases, we're doing 20,000 items a day across all the facilities. So you have pallets of shoes that come in. Each box gets opened up. It gets taken out everything that's in the box, whether it's a shipping label or special packaging or whatever else is in there. It gets taken out, it gets staged, and it gets delivered to authenticators. Authenticators, one by one, go through each shoe or piece of streetwear or whatever it is, make sure that it's real, it's the right size, it's the right condition. It is what it's supposed to be. In a lot of cases, it's not even about what's real or fake. It's about the right size. There's a sneaker seller. He's selling 100 pairs of shoes a week with us. He sold a 9. He grabbed a 9.5 and sent it to us. And we're double checking that, make sure. Oh no, man, you sold a 9. Like this is the wrong size shoe. Right. And then things like special packaging. Does it have all the right laces? Does it have the right? And every shoe is different like that. And some are different. Some there were friends and family ones and not. So it's all those different things and making sure this is exactly the right product it's supposed to be. Authentication is just one piece of all of that. Right. Which goes, by the way, to the conversation earlier that if authentication goes away and Nike starts putting chips in shoes and everybody has an authentic shoe, we're still going to sit in the middle of that transaction because there's all those other things that's important to check. It's not used, it's not worn. If it has manufacturing defects, they're nominal. All that stuff that sits in the middle. And those are all the different things that the authenticator is checking for. Now, you have the people that are opening boxes that are also helping to check we have everything. And then it goes to, once the authenticator says it's good, it gets tagged, and there's a person, an order processor who helps make sure that the seller gets paid out their money, the buyer gets the product gets shipped to them, the shipping label gets generated, put on there, and then it gets sent back out, and it gets reboxed and sent back out. But because you're doing this at scale, it is a process, right? That comes through, and it's important that process is true and it keeps going through the way that it's set up. But we're able to process today, like I said, around 20,000 items a day, and it's our job to continue to scale. So as the business grows, we can still get everything through in one day because we know that customers want their products.
Right. So so now that leads me to the next question because there are rumors, Nike Talk and all these other places, these other platforms where people in the community gather together. So, allegedly,
I know where rumors happen. It's all good.
Not on our show, just everywhere else. StockX. Okay, so allegedly, you guys have a quota system where they have to get 50 shoes in per hour, which is 72 seconds per shoe. Is this true?
Short answer is no. Okay. The long answer is that depending on the person, the shoe, their level of skill, the amount of products you're going through a day. There's targets for every employee in the organization, right? Because again, it's a process to go through it. But to say there's any single target on a thing that you can categorically say across everyone, it's just not true. It really depends on the product. So Yeezy 350, Jordan 1, Jordan 11, like these guys see this shoe hundreds of times a day, right? You like that's butter. You can move through that. If you have a shoe like Air Mag or the Power Adapt shoes, like, well, now that shoe's got to be taken out. You got to check, does the battery work? Like, that takes longer to do that. Streetwear, it's got to be folded, unfolded. You got to look through different seams. You got to check that there's not deodorant stains on. Like, there's just different products take different amount of time. Right. Rare shoes come in that we haven't seen in 10 years. It's a Louis Vuitton Don, Kanye shoe. All of a sudden, that's going to get pulled out, and it's going to be seen by at least 2 or 3 people to make sure of we haven't seen this shoe in a while, things like that. Right. So again, there are targets because you got to move through a lot of products in a certain day, but it really is a function of how much experience the authenticator has, the product that they're seeing, right, and what's going on in the rest of the organization.
Right. So even with that being said, even with the targets as you called it, you don't feel as if that impedes anybody's ability to fully authenticate?
No, not. See, here's the thing. First of all, today we have more capacity than we process through. Right. We, like I said, we do about 20,000 a day. We could probably do about 30,000 a day, given the team that we have and going through. But we always err on the side of making sure that the product's real. The fact of the matter is that the shoes are commodities, right? Like, it's Jordan 1s and Jordan 11s and Yeezy 350s, and like so much of what we see, these guys see every day. Like, they are truly experts. Like, most of the time they will know as soon as they pick up the box whether it's fake, right? As soon as they touch the paper or it's fake. Like, if you touch the same paper for a Jordan 1 200 times a day, like, you're going to know that 201 time, like, this is different, right? You're going to know right away, and to be able to do that. And so there's so much of this. Now, the guy who's his first week on the job, who spent 90 days in training and now it's his first week, like, he's not going to be able to do the same amount of shoes that Dell can do in a day, right? And like, it's important that I talk about this as well, but like, he's been doing this since day one, right? And can tell you all this. And if you want to jump in here and seriously, or not, right? But like, this is
just so listeners know. So Dell's so cool. He's wearing sunglasses indoors. Just so I know.
So with the authentication, I mean, we do a 90-day training. So when you get hired in, before you even see a shoe or touch a shoe, you have to do that training. And we do certifications. You get leveled in tiers. So it's level 1, level 2, level 3. So we go off your background, where you came from, how the knowledge of shoes, Right. So we base it all off that. So we read the rumors, we read all the Reddits, and we read all of that. So
how frustrating is that for you guys on your end? Because because obviously the consumer has their ideas, but you guys being inside the company and seeing how the process is, and like, how is that for you to read those comments and hear those rumors?
Oh yeah, so when we read the comments, and we all get calls and phone calls and late emails from Josh. Right. I mean, it really don't bother us because we know what it really is. With that one person, with that one individual that had that horrible experience, but it don't faze us at all, because we know what we had to go through with the training and what we put in to handle each shoe and all that training. So,
right. By the way, you believe everything you read on the internet?
Come on, I'm old enough to know.
Right? I mean,
I have to do my due diligence and ask the question.
No, it's fair enough, right? But like, as you might imagine, anytime people will very often pull me into, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook or somewhere else, and pull me into conversations when they think they have a fake shoe or they think someone scammed them or whatever. And I got to tell you, like 98 times out of 100 that I dive into it and I'm like, all right, let me go talk to the authenticators, let me talk to customer service and see what's going on and what. Like 98 times out of 100, like the customer is just wrong. Right. Like the customer is just wrong, and sometimes it's wrong that they're trying to scam us and just play social blackmail, which happens all the time. Sometimes they're wrong that they genuinely think that this shoe is fake or wrong, but they're just wrong. And you tell me how quickly I'm talking to Dale, how quickly could you tell a fake Jordan 1, bread
it
in front of
a
you.
couple seconds.
Right.
Just by the look of the box,
Right.
The
Right.
label, the font, all of that.
Right. And like how many Jordan ones do you think you've authenticated?
Man, in the last 3 years, I can't even put a number on that.
Hopefully, it wasn't the one in that YouTube video. That kid.
Couple thousand.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably way more than
But
that.
I mean, as a CEO though, I mean, you know that perception is reality sometimes. Too,
no. So last point, 100%. You're right. It's a good thing to talk about. So and my point is, so you have some kid who's a 16-year-old kid and saved up all their money for allowance and to buy a pair of Jordan 1s, Jordan 1 Off-White, and you know what? Like it has some variances in it because the shoe's made by hand by people, and they're not happy about it, and they really genuinely believe that it's fake. But like that person has seen one, maybe their friend has a pair, maybe they have a different colorway. Mm-hmm. Like he's seen thousands. Like you know what I mean? Like just because you think it's fake doesn't mean it is. And but that's okay, and that's part of our job, and that's why we have an 80-person customer service team. But what it leads to is it leads to perception as reality. And you know the people that are mad are way louder than the people that are happy.
Right.
You know, and we track everything. And I was on a show about a month ago, and I talk about this all the time because we're continuing to work on it. But our success rate right now is, and I got it wrong last time, is 99.9, 99.95.
It's 99.85.
99.85, 99.85, and I said it was lower before. It's 99.85, which sounds really good.
No, it doesn't.
Right? Thank you. But when you realize that we process 20,000 shoes a day, right, 99.85% means that's 30 a day, right, that are something. And by the way, it's not just fake. It could be it was used, it was wrong size. It was some mistake that we made that we shouldn't pass through. Yeah. And that's real, right? And that's a real problem, and we have to get better at that, right? But that's 30 a day that were wrong, but no one ever talked about the 970, that were right. Because those people don't get on Reddit and be like, fuck yeah, I got it authentic. It's like, no, like that's not, but it's the person that thinks they got it. And so, yeah, that's a part of it, right? And listen, part of the reason this business has grown so fast and part of the reason it's been successful is that sneakerheads are inherently super viral, social, online, want to talk about their shoes, want to tell everybody about it, and that's awesome. We benefited from it, and we have to take the bad part of it as well, which is that like, when a couple people are upset, it's going to get like that, and that's okay.
Speaking of upset, once again, in doing my due diligence, not only are there people that complain as far as people that have bought shoes and felt like they bought fakes, but there have been some past employees, once again, I go back to Nike talking. Glassdoor, I guess, is an app now where people can put people on blast. And I guess the complaint is, they talk a lot about employee wellness and the balance of work and outside life and how that also impacts their ability to do their job, in particular, authenticate shoes.
Yeah.
Is there anything you could say?
Yeah, sure.
To speak towards that?
So in the holiday season of 2017, our business exploded in the best way possible.
Right.
And at one point, and when our business explodes in a good way possible, it's really bad for ops and it's really bad for CS because when we were going from processing 500 shoes a day and all of a sudden we're processing 4,000 shoes a day, like you don't have the manpower to process it all in one day anymore. And that's really bad. And in the holiday of 2017, we used to be able to process everything in one day. At one point we were 9-10 days behind, right? Which is horrible. And for particularly going to holidays and people want their presents for Christmas, like it's bad. And then customer service gets backed up and it's miserable. And during that time, Dell and all the other authenticators and operations team that were here literally worked 24/7 for, I don't know, 6-7 weeks. No, it rotated through so people can actually sleep a little bit. But like, I mean, what, you guys are probably working each 18-hour days?
Of course.
Right? And that's tough. And you can't do that forever because you'll die. Right. But like everybody was like, we got to get through this. We got to, because we were 9-10 days behind. People wanted their Christmas gifts. Now, as soon as we got through that, we spent all last year building capacity so we don't have to have that. This past holiday season, Ops worked exactly one Saturday, the entire holiday season, and we're still going home. So yeah, so sometimes you got to work a lot, and that's, by the way, it's the same as my job, and it's the same as Katie's job, and everyone in any business. But so you have a deadline, you work, you meet it, you go home, you take a break, you take off, and that's part of it. But if there's one tough day, which by the way, there's that story on Nike Talk. That was a tough day, man. Like the UPS forecast was off by like 30%, which means we got like 30% more product that showed up that day than we thought. And yeah, like that was a tough day for everybody. And it happened to be that kid's first day, and that was an unfortunate situation. But also, like, that kid thought he was going to hang out and just play with shoes all day and didn't realize that this was a job. And everyone else there approached me after that on Nike Talk and was like, yo, like, that kid wasn't cut for this. Don't believe it. Like, we had a hard day. We got through it. We're fine. And they were back there the next day and had a normal 9-hour day like they normally do. So that's part of any job anywhere. And sometimes, like, you have hard days.
Right. So real quick, to go back to the authentication, do you guys at all get, like, flattered when you get the stories coming back about, everybody wants to say StockX sold me some fakes? You don't really hear about it coming from like Gold, Stadium Goods. It's like it always points back to StockX and only StockX. How do you guys kind of like feel about that?
So go get some of it too, and I say that to compliment them. Right, like they're big, and I know these guys, and they have a good business, and we respect them, and they get some of the backlash too. Flight Club and Stadium don't get nearly as much, and first of all, they're a lot smaller than us and Goat, but also they have a much different customer, right? Most of that customer at Flight Club, they have no idea what's real or fake. They're never going to be able to tell if they got a fake because it's some tourist who walked in the street off New York and is fine paying 40% more for a pair of Yeezys than you or I would pay on StockX or Goat. So it's just a different customer, and they're not online. They're not part, like, there's no sneakerhead kid in Facebook groups that is buying shoes on Flight Club, right? Like, and so that it's just a much different customer, and so that's why you never like hear any of that stuff. So it's a function of who our customers are, and it's a function of our size. That it's a lot of us. So to some extent, it is kind of flattering, but it's also just kind of a measure of a level of success, right? That if they're not shooting at you, you're not doing something wrong. So
I got a question for you. I've been meaning to ask you. I've been meaning to talk to you about this for a couple of years now, and it kind of ties into the current conversation right now that we've been having, and it seems like now everybody else is starting to have, and that's the question of diversity and representation.
Yeah.
It started off with the Black History Month collections from Adidas. I'm trying not to think about it right now because I'm going to get mad.
They're horrible.
Yeah. And then, even Nike. And so I know, and maybe it wasn't intended this way, but I took it this way. The first StockX day, we came in, we did the tour and everything. And what bothered me was when we did the tour, we started off, the upper area at the party. And to be perfectly blunt, it seemed to be a lot of the Caucasian employees. And then when we did the tour, we went to the basement, and it seemed like it was just full of people of color. And so it was like this huge contrast for me, where it was just like, okay, so all these people upstairs partying and all these other people are down here working. And it didn't sit right with me. And it was funny because the next day I had a meeting with the brand rep, and he was white. And he noticed it, and he was trying to, I guess, fish it out of me because he asked me, like, what did you notice about that? And at first I didn't know what he was talking about. And then ultimately I told him the one thing that bothered me. And so it was like he didn't want to be the first one to bring it up. He wanted me to bring it up. And I always say, how you like when you smell yourself, you smell, right? And I always felt like when white people notice, like, sort of racism, that it must be real bad for them to recognize it. And I'm not saying StockX is racist. I'm just saying that the aesthetic of seeing that bothered me. And I wanted to know, what are you guys doing to maintain diversity in positions of power or positions that matter? And also giving opportunities to people of color to obtain those positions.
It's a fair question, right? It's absolutely a fair question. And by the way, a fair observation, particularly at the time,
right?
When you went through that. First of all, just a note about StockX Day in general. Very, very few StockX employees.
I won't be invited again, will I?
No, you're not invited anyway. But that's a different issue. You weren't invited the first time. Yeah, you just showed up. No, very few of actually stock employees are even at the party and at StockX Day because there's such little room that it's all for outside people. So it's a very, very small group of people anyway. And then the flip side of that is we could theoretically teach anybody to authenticate, and we could teach anybody to to work in operations facility, but usually what happens is people that really love sneakers that are as part of that, and I don't have any demographics, on it, but like I'm going to bet that the overall percentage of the sneakerhead population is higher African American than in the overall population of the country as a whole. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Right? And so I think you see some of that play out in who wants to self-select to work around sneakers, because the rest of the company, it doesn't. I don't care whether you like sneakers or not to be an Android engineer. Like, I care whether you code. Right. So it doesn't so there's part of it that self-selects. That said, right, there's also, for a while, we didn't have a lot of black people, a lot of any minorities in leadership, because there were only 7 people and 10 people, and as you grow. And it's been one of the really interesting and fun challenges, actually, as we hired 500 people last year. And when you start that process, when you're at 10 people and 20 people, you're just trying to hire anybody to get people in the door. And then at some point, and it was for us, it was around 30 or 40 people, where you start to more consciously think about that. And that's when we hired an HR leader, a director of HR, and a director of recruiting, so they can be more conscious about, are we interviewing enough people in diversity? Are we having a broad enough range in where we're looking for candidates across that? Right. And to be totally blunt, like, I'm not in the weeds on that. Like, I'm not the HR director. I'm not the recruiting director. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's 100% a goal to make sure that we are being and hiring appropriately in all parts of the company. And I think the company today looks a whole lot different from that disparity than what you saw at the time. Right.
I'll give you that. Walking through the hallways.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it's an issue because even when we went to Nike, that was a concern when we went there, because it was like, okay, you got all these people in these positions, but these are the decision makers, right? Like, so while I might love sneakers and I might want to be more hands-on, ultimately the decisions about how things go from here are by the people on this floor.
Well, so that's true, but it also doesn't mean that there's, like, the people that run operations, right? I mean, they make the decisions there. Like, it's a very, it's a very, autonomous part of it. The guy that runs customer service, he makes decisions for customer service, not me. Okay. Right? Like, the guy who's the senior authenticators, or the senior leaders in the operation facility, they make the decisions on a day-to-day basis there. Like, not me. Like, I'm not there, running that part of it. So. Right. And that's different by every part of the organization. And by the way, I think that if you were looking at our organization in Tempe, Arizona, you might have a very similar conversation around Hispanic people. And just given the population in Phoenix and who likes sneakers and who's there versus not. And that's a function of it, right? You go to London, by the way, like,
I've been there.
Right? You've been to our authentication center in London, right?
No,
like,
I wish. You should send me there.
Yeah. I don't know how this ended up with us in London, but right? But it's absolutely the right question.
We need more black people in London,
and it's been that's a London issue, not a StockX issue. Like, I don't know how to deal with that. But look, that's part of as you grow as a company, and now we employ 650 people, but by the way, it's also been really helpful for us, which is that Quicken Loans has a diversity inclusion team that we've been working with since the very beginning, before we had our own recruiting team and everything else, and that's also important about growing. But not a lot of startups get in that situation where they have to, they never get by 3 people or 5 people or 7 people. And those aren't, so it's, those are parts of learning of how you run a big company.
I got it, and Sadell can attest to this. We did the drone thing, by the way, thank you. We did the drone thing, and I told them then, like, you guys, for better or worse, have become a verb. Like, when people think of sneaker value, they think of StockX.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And while there are other platforms like Go and eBay, nobody says I'm going to eBay and check this. I'm not going to go, like even go. Like nobody, I've never heard. This is no knock on them. I've never personally heard. Every time I heard somebody say how much are these worth, they say I'm about to go StockX this.
Yeah. I can personally guarantee nobody in the history of the world has ever said I'm gonna go check out GOAT.
Yeah.
No, I'm not true. No, you're right. Listen,
and that about wraps up our interview. Like on that note,
this is how you cut an interview.
I know, right? There you
go.
Mic drop.
But that was always our DNA from the very beginning, right? Like Campless, the company that I started before this, was a price guide for sneakers.
Right.
And, a stock market is nothing but a variable pricing model, right? And so for us, that was always the goal. And we created a blog. We used data. We had a TV show that nobody watched, but it was about data. Like it was always about value.
Who did I tell that to? No, because it was funny when you said that, because I remember when you guys first did that. Now, mind you, I love numbers. So even when you started with Campless, I'm enough of a nerd to like dive into that without, my eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that the overall populace of the sneaker community, like I felt like it was going to be like church on TV for them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And this was even the very beginning. Campless, we had a very small but very passionate fan base, because for that really small Venn diagram overlap of sneakers and data,
right,
that group, they were like, this is fucking awesome. Everyone else was like church on TV, that, and that's fine. But that was okay. Like that was our small little niche, and we've been able to grow it into to something else. And today, the way that it manifests in the mass market is we're the price guide for the sneaker industry, and that's a good place to be.
So this one is twofold. You brought up, we mentioned GOAT and eBay. One, what do you think separates you guys from your competition in those two entities? And then two, what do you think about the partnership between GOAT and Foot Locker?
So, for us, it's 100% about the model, right? This is a true stock market in every way, and we've talked about some of this, but, all of our competitors, and by the way, we have competitors in other categories too where we're not the leader. Right? Handbags and watches, the Real is the leader, and so we're not the leader in those categories, but we still are distinct in having this stock market mechanic and stock market model. GOAT has taken kind of the best of a couple different models. So they authenticate, they have a standard product page like us. They have a little bit of transparency data like us. They also restrict who can sell like consignment shops. They restrict how much people can move prices like consignment shops. Then they also sell some used product and have pictures the way eBay does. So they've taken kind of like the best of a couple different models and created this sort of mashup of a model. eBay is just an antiquated model. Like we all agree with that. And consignment, has a problem where you're sort of letting the prices artificially inflate, around because you have brick and mortar expenses, because, it's a consignment business. And so, again, it's really just about that model, which is fundamentally about transparency and understanding the value, which is why we're the price guide. And so that's really what it comes down to. And because of that, it's allowed us to, like, our whole hypothesis is that this is a better model. And GOAT was 8 months ahead of us and got off to a good head start, but we caught them and passed them, and we really do.
But does this partnership with Foot Locker scare you a little bit?
So, not unlike the first time that I saw fake StockX tag, I woke up that morning, I was like, motherfucker. And then about 30 seconds later, I was like, this is great. Because first of all, we're not really interested in those relationships, or we don't care as much about the relationships at retail. Foot Locker doesn't make any shoes. Right. Like I want the relationship with Nike and Adidas, and we did this IPO with the Ben Baller slides a couple weeks ago. You saw that?
Yes.
We can talk more about that. Yeah. Right. Like the whole idea of StockX is today we're a better secondary market, but then we can work with brands to become an alternate retail channel to literally IPO products into existence. And there's always been this divide where the brands, particularly Nike and Jordan, have always had this very willful blindness policy towards the secondary market, right? Oh, no, we're not a part of the resale market. That's not us. Obviously,
but they pick and choose when they want to do that, too.
Yeah, but obviously they create the secondary market. Obviously they benefited from it. This is 34 years in 1985 in the first Jordans, right?
Why do you think your shoes cost $200 now?
Yeah, right? Of course. But their PR stance has always been, that's not a part of us. And that's okay. They've never wanted, and for me, for 7 years, I've been banging my head against the wall at Nike and Adidas and the other brands saying, listen, you guys should work with us. Stop working against the secondary market. Stop pretending like it doesn't exist. You should work with us. And this is the same thing that happened in ticketing 15 years ago. leagues and teams used to arrest ticket scalpers and shut down ticketing websites, and eventually they said, why aren't we benefiting from this? And StubHub became the official resale marketplace of Major League Baseball, and they started working together. So for us, the Foot Locker and GOAT deal is finally starting to have some crossover. And I don't know if I have no inside info, but I'm going to guess that Nike was at least aware of that deal. They probably had to bless it, or they at least had to not veto it because Foot Locker and Nike work so close together. Yep. I'm going to guess that. So this is great. Like, this is slowly breaking down the barriers of working together, and like that's who we want to work with. So we think this is a good thing for everyone.
But a real quick question, and agree or disagree. Do you think, because talking to some people behind the scenes, like it sounds like basically you could either one pre-order for a higher price than retail, or two that, or when the shoes sell out, they will then appear on the GOAT app via Foot Locker.
That's how it should work.
But do you think though that leads to some speculation that Foot Locker has become its own bot? In the sense of, oh wow, gee, these shoes sold out, but you can get them on GOAT for more money. You know, like, do you think that lends itself to? By
the way, that's also why we think the right relationship with whether it's a brands or retailer is like, we don't want Foot Locker to invest in StockX. Like, we're separate companies, and we want to, and we wouldn't take investment from Nike or Adidas or anyone else. Like, we're a separate company, and part of it is that because the customer experience is right, whether it's GOAT or whether it's StockX, whether it's Nike or Foot Locker. If you go to any product page and you want to buy a pair of shoes, and it's sold out, there should be a link right there for you to buy it on the secondary market somewhere, right? And the way we want it to be is you go to Nike.com, it's sold out, there should be a link right there that says buy on StockX.
But do you think that's a legit fair as a customer, though, to think, okay, these guys are in cahoots to raise the price?
Well, you can, I think that there are some people that will think that, but majority of people says, thank you very much for now giving me a trusted place to go right there. That's how ticketing started, right? You would go to Yankees.com and buy a ticket and it was sold out and say, available on StubHub. And now you know exactly where to go and to get that, right? It's what happens anyway, right? And this is the Nike conundrum around PR, which is like being concerned about all the stuff that's going on in the secondary market. Like, it happens anyway. And so you can either figure that out and figure out how to alleviate those fears by however you want to do that, right?
But they don't hate resellers. They gave Sean Witherspoon his own. By the way, he's a big fan of yours.
He and I have made up behind the scenes.
Y'all kissed him out?
Okay, cool. I think Sean didn't realize how many people make fake tags in China. So,
actually, we got it. Which one of y'all had a question?
Some of the things I was told is that they might, maybe a concept is like with the GOAT, they're going to actually have a counter inside the Foot Locker. So once you buy your Jordan 1, you can take it to the counter and sell it, or if someone comes in the store and it's sold out, they can bring it to the counter and sell it. Now, how would you think that would affect your business, thinking that they either authenticate the shoe there instead of going home or posting the shoe on StockX, and now can take it to a GOAT counter?
Yeah, so and they should do that, right? It's the same reason why we are created retail stores. We have 3 pop-ups going on right now in New York, LA, and London.
Why not in Detroit, though?
We will.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% we will.
Take
right?
your time.
Yeah, but the short answer why it's not yet is because the purpose of those is to be as close as possible to the sellers, and we just have more sellers in New York and in the big cities, right? Because there's more people. But we will in Detroit. And so, in that scenario, like, that's okay. Like, we're all going to move in that direction anyway of having drop-offs. Think about it. There's not that much heat that moves through Foot Locker, right? Like, you got some general release Jordans every now and then. You got a little bit, like, most of the real heat is getting dropped online. It's getting dropped, through the boutiques, et cetera. So, like, I'm not really that worried. And by the way, there's a whole lot of other sneaker retailers like JD Sports and Finish Line, and Foot Locker's the biggest, but like JD's a pretty close second, right? So there's other people to work with and stuff like that. So yeah.
Did you have a question?
So with what Foot Locker and GOAT with the partnership, and I know how you said you brought up the Ben Baller the IPO. Is that like ultimately the goal that you want StockX to end up being, is basically that partnership where a brand can say, hey, we're going to exclusively release this through the StockX platform?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we think that for certain products, not all of them, that it's a better model to release products using the IPO method than what they do today. So with the Ben Baller IPO, we can recap that quickly, right? It was called a blind Dutch auction, which means that everybody just bids whatever they want to bid, right? And the top bids get it, but it's by size, and we tell people exactly how many pairs are available, and that's the key to your concern in that scenario where you think GOAT and Foot Locker are going to be in cahoots. If you can tell people exactly how many are available and show that we sold all 50 of these here at Foot Locker, then they sold out, no problem. You're not worried that they backdoored them to GOAT. But so anyway, so we tell people how many are available. So black size 9 Ben Baller slides, there were 50 available. Top 50 bids win, but the way it works is the way a Dutch auction works is if you're the top bidder at $1,000 and there's 50 pairs of these and the 50th bidder is, say, $200, right?
The shoes go for $200.
They all sell for $200. So that concept of a clearing price is super powerful, right? So first of all, 49 of those 50 people get the slide for less than what they bid. And what happens is because of the Dutch auction, what happens is as soon as the IPO is over, we turned on the secondary market, and then people were selling them for $350. So this is a slide that would have retailed for $70. We sold them for $200 or $208, I think, and then people could resell them for $350. And so the theory of how this is supposed to play out played out perfectly, which is the market set the price, and the market set the price higher than retail because we all know this stuff is worth more than what it's selling for retail,
right?
But less than resale because if you were going to be resale, you just buy it on the secondary market,
right?
And by the way, there was no bots, there was no sites crashing, there was no campouts, there was no riots, there was no bedlam around that, right? In the old world, to get that shoe at $70, you would have had to sleep outside a Foot Locker for 3 days or pay off the manager or write a bot or whatever happened. So you take all that nonsense and put it into a more efficient system that, yeah, people paid a little bit more than retail. They paid $200 instead of $70. But by the way, it was worth $350. So they still got it for less. And so we don't think that this works for every product, but we think that it works for a lot. And if you put products into the market that way, then when you turn on the secondary market, the brand can also get a piece of that. Like the brand, Nike and Adidas and Supreme, they should get a piece of our sales. It's their product, right?
Now, I'm glad you said that because as I was doing my research, I came across something, and I just wanted to see your reaction to it. So the social statistics. On the box, it says suggested retail for $200, but then Nike ended up selling them for $250. And immediately I thought about what you just described. So were you guys involved in that?
No,
okay.
Not at all.
Because that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, okay, yes, the suggested retail is $200, but they sold for $250. And I'm thinking, okay, was this the system of what you just described, the IPO, or is this just Nike being greedy and just adding $50?
I think that they just let. Was it Nike that moved it, or was it with the boutiques?
I think, Nike sold on the sneakers after Social Status. So Social Status sold it first. Okay. And then I guess whatever remaining pairs were left, or if they had some withheld, they sold it on the sneakers the week later.
Got it. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that there was a variation in that price, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Because I was like, the only thing that made sense to me was what you just described.
Yeah. I really don't know. But what's interesting is that we actually want to give money to the brands and to Supreme. Like we think they should process. We sell. I mean, sometimes we sell up to $500,000 of Supreme a day. Right. Like that might be more than Supreme sells. Like I don't know. Like, and they should have a piece of that. But the brands are still comfortable being totally separate from the secondary market, and so we want to be the official resale marketplace of Nike. We want to do IPOs of Nike products, and then the IPO happens, and then in perpetuity, anytime that sells on StockX, Nike should get a piece of that as well.
I think sometimes when Nike is like they want their cake and eat it too, then again they don't. I feel like somebody who works sneaker retail as a manager is like when I saw the reaction to the GOAT thing, I was like, I seen my friends and coworkers get fired because they were allegedly reselling and backdooring. And then here it is, you give your largest retailer $100 million investment to a secondary market. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things I'm like, word. So all the people you fire, you're gonna bring them back? Like those are the type of things. And then also too, I think why they won't release how many pairs, because if Nike said, okay, in about a month we're gonna release these Travis Scott ones, there's 500 pairs. Now the secondary market's already getting their numbers, and then when Nike sees how much the secondary market is gonna get before the shoe release, athletes, I think there's some jealousy in that. Because with us, they was like, okay, we set this price because, okay, the Jordan's 180. We're going to sell it to you for 90. You sell it to retail at 180, and therefore we both split it because Athlete's Foot was like, hey, this shoe don't come out here, but if you want it early, we do 250. So that kind of do what you're doing, but against the rules, and that's one of the things that snatched their Nike account. So as it, like, they were, even though they did it wrong, they were kind of a sneak peek of what was to come, and Nike didn't embrace it. And even with it, now you can't get around it. I think they feeling like with this recent retail prices raising, like, okay, instead of me doing business with you guys, I'm gonna try to get the money from here directly before I come get it for you.
And like there's like 4 points in it that are all right, and they're all in the same category, which is all these things are happening anyway. Mm-hmm. Why are you trying to fire people for reselling shoes? Why are you trying to, why are you trying to take away people's Nike's account? Like the product is worth, more money. And like, what kind of broken system keeps selling a $1,000 widget for $190 and just relies on mass chaos to do that? Particularly when a lot of the people, whether it's the people working there or the stores themselves, right, could benefit by being able to sell that product for more money and stuff like that. And so it's this the high level concept of all of this is like, let's just work together. Like, why, like all the shenanigans and stuff, it doesn't help anybody. Honestly, the only people it helps that reseller at the end of the day who's gouging people. Yeah. And we've already done something, against that. We level the playing field a little bit in terms of transparency, but like the only person that wins is that person who somehow ends up with 1,000 pairs of the Jordan 1 fragment. And you're like, okay.
It is funny though, like that dynamic. Like half the community sees you as Santa Claus, and the other half sees you as Krampus. But real quick, I want to respect your time.
Thanks.
Where does StockX go from here? Like, is there anything that you guys kind of want to like tease with people and let them know like what to look for with StockX?
We talked about a lot of this. StockX this year, international, right? We hired a first person in Japan, making a bigger push in Europe. And IPOs, working with brands to release more products, and then other categories. So we're going to add art collectibles, toys, skate decks, like things that are serialized art prints. And so those are the 3 big ways to grow, right? International, IPOs, and other product categories. That's what's happened next for StockX.
I mean, you CEO set it up.
I don't do any work. That's the fallacy.
Apparently, but not
CEOs don't do any work. They just come on shows and talk to people.
I see that. That's the cool part. Mm-hmm. You got Sadell doing all the work over
there. Yeah. I invited Sadell here, and he's like, can I come in and wear sunglasses? I was like, yeah, that'd be good.
I know. He did his job.
Yeah. No, he looks good. True story is there was a woman who came to visit StockX today, and she came and I talked to her after ops, and she's like, man, that guy running ops, he's the coolest dude I ever seen. And I was like, Sadell? Yeah. She's like, yeah, he's wearing gold glass and stuff. I was like, yeah.
She was related to him.
Nah, I was like, yeah, everyone thinks that the first time.
I know, do a DNA search. I guarantee they're related.
Yeah.
She got taste.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody at the table believed that. Everybody, even the sound guy, just looked down.
You gonna open your cards and see if you pulled an MJ or what?
Yes, let's do this right now.
I've opened about a dozen packs from this box so far, and I haven't pulled any Jordan, so I'm waiting for some.
I got a Larry Bird.
Larry Bird's nice.
Craig Elo. Hey. The one Craig Elo in existence.
Brian Shaw.
Odin Polynice. Wow. Tom Toberg. Theodore Edwards. Robert Parrish. Ed Neely. Wow. Delaney Rudd.
This goes from 1990, so that's what.
Sam Mitchell. Hey. Greg Kite. Wow. I'm keeping this. This is going on my shelf. Wow. He's not even dressed. Like he's in a suit. Like,
I think that was a draft pick.
Yeah. Was it?
Danny Ferry rookie.
Who was this? Oh, you said like
it's 1990.
Yeah. Rory Sparrow and Dwayne Farrell.
And Dwayne Farrell. No Jordan.
You gotta keep the Elo one.
Yeah.
Elo's son worked for us.
Elo's son worked
Does
for us
he?
in Tempe.
I gotta meet him because I feel bad for Elo. Elo gets shitted on so much because Michael Jordan used to just own him.
Does he hate seeing Jordan Force?
Every time it came around,
May is gonna suck for him.
He just laughed at it.
Nope.
I didn't realize that for a while, and then I was talking to him. Yeah, that's great.
He's not looking forward to May, is he? Because them Brad Fords are coming out. Man,
he embraced it. Like, he's really cool. He's about it.
I want to meet him because I feel bad for Craig Elo. He's underrated. He's underappreciated.
I think he's all right. He's doing fine.
Is he?
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for having me on this. This is fun.
And so once again, thank you to StockX. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Dale. And so Stay tuned for the rest of the show. This is the Sneaker Box podcast / radio show, Sneaker Bar Detroit and DTLR Radio. All right, and we're back. That was our interview once again.
What the hell just happened?
CEO StockX, Josh Luber. I'm telling you, he's like Deadpool, like fourth wall being broken. Like
what I just missed.
You blew the whole cover.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
blew the
Do you know what a transition is?
Yeah, I do. But I'm.
Do you know what a segue is?
I do.
Like all these hand gestures
around,
that just
right?
went on, and like nothing registered. Like it was just.
No, it did.
You just saw a bunch of hand. Thank you.
That was a great interview, guys.
We haven't used the bell at all this show.
Well,
There you
next
go.
time I know I'll just mute him.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you want to redo it?
No,
It was a great interview, guys.
At this point, I mean, it's just one mistake of many.
You guys, the hard hitting questions.
I know. Such a dick.
As of this is recorded, I still haven't heard the interview. You guys went to StockX headquarters on a Monday night at 8:30.
We left the studio, went down to StockX headquarters, did the interview, and
Came right back.
Came back.
And left me.
Yes. Well, you went to the bathroom. We thought you were in the car.
True.
It was like Home Alone. You were like our Kevin McAllister. Came back to the studio, just booby traps everywhere. Okay. Here's something interesting. The most valuable sneaker brands of 2019 so far. Everybody want to care to guess? Not you, Francis. Anybody want to care to guess?
Under Armour.
I seen the list. I just had valuable in other ways.
Yeah. Depends on what you're looking for. But anybody want to care to guess?
Man, we know what number one is.
Yeah. Guess how much they made though.
A lot.
Shit, a big number. Like,
yeah.
How many goats did they make?
3.
That's going to be how we determine money.
Yeah, basically.
No, because goat was 100.
4 times
so 32. 32.
4 times Foot Locker and Goat Squared.
This is like that news article you read earlier.
Is the answer
The
six?
Vans.
Is the answer 6?
The
like
answer
that
is
was?
6.
Francis is going to start coming in every show with his scientific calculator.
I'm just going to bring an abacus and just.
So Nike was number one. They made $32.4 billion. The number 2 made basically half of that.
The number 2 was that was Answer, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
Adidas was number 2 with $16.7 billion. So that's why I always laugh. People say, "Oh, easy to like how? Why? Like where? Where are you getting it at?" Number 3, Anta, surprise.
Well, the Nike number and Jordan numbers are together because they own Jordan brand.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
I think Jordan brand
and Converse,
just like Adidas has Reebok numbers.
Converse has his own number.
Having Reebok numbers is like having 50 cents in your pocket. Like,
is it worth having that much?
No, actually, I don't even think they put Jordan Brand on this list because Jordan Brand, yeah, you know what?
I mean, they are.
I don't think they counted Nike and Jordan Brand together. No, look at it.
Hey, because Converse is up there
I
separately.
mean, Converse and Reebok are individuals on here. Oh, yeah, so number 4 is Puma. They made $3.51 billion. Under Armour, despite all the scandals and just buffoonery going on, it came in at number 5 at $3.47 billion.
they were buying their own product with their company cards.
Basically.
Yeah, no, the strippers was giving the money back.
Never seen that happen.
Nah.
You know the type of pull Kevin Plank might have.
Well, they having the stripper parties at an Under Armour outlet? Like,
probably so.
Hey,
his secretary was probably
that's
right
how
there
they
with
get
him.
me in there.
Oh, you guys are so you guys are so terrible.
You guys are so terrible. Let me tip you, Kevin, okay? You don't have to tip me. I'm going to tip you, Kevin, because you guys need it over there.
I mean, hey,
Kevin Plank is dancing on the table for the other strippers. 6 is Skechers, who, by the way, probably had the best hot take over the weekend with their Nike ad.
That's Skechers. That's terrible.
Horrible. But it's like, really, Skechers, like,
If you could make that much money copying and ripping off other people's ideas, then...
So you know what
they
probably gonna do? Maybe they're gonna come out with a basketball shoe that's gonna look just like a PG 2.5.
Probably so. And then Balenciaga probably gonna make a rip pair of the PG 2.5 and charge you $400.
It's gonna be the one Zion. It's gonna be the one Zion already blew through. Yeah. They gonna resell that one.
Just duct tape it together.
Put like 6 soles at the bottom.
Wait a minute.
Didn't Skechers get in trouble for like burning some child's feet
with the battery?
Yeah,
they did that.
You read that story.
Yeah, so how they gonna, of all companies, like, do you really Are you really in a position?
What did the parent do? Did the parent do something like that?
No, I remember it took the parent like 2 days to find out.
The parents. It took them 2 days to realize the child's feet were no longer attached to their body.
Chicken again, honey? Come on, we just had it last night. No, honey, I'm cooking pork chops.
Like, Johnny's feet? Wasn't Johnny born with feet? Yeah, like why are they missing?
Or that boy ain't taking shoes off for 2 days?
Oh no, you know what?
Why is Johnny crawling around everywhere? And then the lady,
why did Johnny get a simple pair of BBs and then Caesar didn't? Man, that's probably what happened. He had some self-lacing Skechers and it didn't work out.
But here's what's crazy about that whole story, though. So I remember Skechers was like, "All right, send us the defective shoes and we'll investigate ourselves."
No, he said no, but they said they was gonna send a new one.
No, they said if they were at fault, they would send us the new ones. But they told her to send in the evidence and they will investigate themselves.
Sound like Donald Trump to me.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Robert Mueller, just give me all your findings.
Actually, I hate to say this, this is my guy, but it sounds like Kwame.
Oh,
that's something Kwame would do.
Definitely a Kwame thing.
Wait, Kwame would do. Is this show going to be like 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember how long that interview was? You want to listen to the interview?
Yeah, you weren't there? Where were you at?
We got to get you a new time machine, man.
Yeah, we do.
Or a hot tub.
Some mags or something. Skechers made 2.08. I'm sorry. How I don't know, but maybe they robbed the bank. Number 7, Converse, 1.54 billion, and then Reebok comes in 8th, making 1.42 billion. So
I'm surprised that number is in the billion.
Me too. I thought it was going to say $1.42.
I mean, because clearly they didn't have no money for marketing for that Iverson. So,
well, here's your number 1 athlete of all time. Just throw these shoes on the website, call it a day.
Yeah, that's terrible.
We gonna open up this.
Had money to market and he didn't use it.
Like who did the budgeting?
Hey, look,
that probably was like promote AI profit sharing. So that was like,
or they spent that for travel costs going to the Under Armour party.
Yeah,
absolutely. There you go. And then they had to pay for that bus that they or that truck that they had all those Iversons on their complex con.
Yeah, that nobody bought.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
I'm looking at Reeboks now and it's funnier.
Reebok, man, it's funny because I actually grew up with Reebok, man. And I really would love to see them come back to some level of prominence.
It looks like they don't want to come back.
No, right?
It's almost like
I want it more than they do,
and that's the most respectful way. It's almost like watching DMX. Like you remember him for his greatness, but his current incidences just make you like, oh.
He has flashes though. I feel like Reebok does too.
I was gonna say because them Iverson legacies,
they are nice. They're actually nice shoes.
That's why I said like you put together a good product, you didn't market it.
You ain't marketing for shit. Like nobody knows about it. Only except maybe the few people that listen to our show.
Yeah, but you was able. But 2 years ago, from 3 years on, you was able to come out with questions in every single color.
Oh, but they promote the shit out of Pioneer.
I mean, that year was a pop quiz. I mean, questions they dropped.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, did they run out of colorways? Because they just kept going.
I don't even know. I'm not sure they know. So that's the problem. It's like I can't come up with answers when. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
Where are you going with this?
Well, they couldn't either.
My God. That's why they came up with so many questions.
They had the answers and don't use them. That's the crazy thing about it.
I was going to say, so it's just like Nike having the technology and not wanting to put it in there.
Nope.
So it worked for one
Now, that
company.
might have been the most frustrating thing. I mean, as much as that trip was the shit, the most frustrating thing is to go through their vault and see all the stuff that they didn't come out with. And it's like, dude, what are y'all doing? Like, why y'all not releasing this? What do you think these are good? Like, dude, what? Like, the stuff, the technology that it's like, man, y'all.
I mean, but it's like we always say, who's working in those departments?
Wilson. Just like Wilson.
This would be a great time.
Our guy Wilson out there. Shout out to Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, that was pretty much it, though. Like, that was crazy. Well, I think the other thing, too, that kind of surprised me is, like, how much they, like, check on the competition, which I guess I ain't too surprised with. It was just weird seeing it.
Last year they did more. When they did check on them, they probably laughed a lot.
If they was looking at Reebok.
Nah, look, I think Adidas didn't.
Adidas fell off.
Yeah.
Heavy, I thought. Last year. Cause
one shoe in like 20 different colorways.
That was it.
Keeping that shoe, that is their lights on.
Imagine if like
and
all
soccer,
Nike
and
did.
Soccer apparel. I'll give them soccer apparel. And James Harden.
Anybody checking for no soccer apparel here?
Yeah, and across the world, yes.
I ain't talking about that.
But I mean, even with James Harden's shoe. Like,
they're doing a piss poor job with that.
I was going to say, really, from the Harden 1, the Harden 2 was okay, but then it's like, now it's just.
This one's not bad, especially the Rockets colorway he wore.
That's the problem, though. Like, that's the point I'm making, though.
The
like
same thing I just said about Reebok. What marketing have they done for it?
None.
Like, they haven't done anything.
That's
what I'm saying.
You would think you would try to get your money back by selling products.
You got signature athletes.
I don't know. Look at Derrick Rose. Well, they'll get their money back. They try to get their money back later.
you got signature athletes. And you're not doing any marketing. Nothing.
None. Zero.
Like, I can at least say for the Harden 1, they had the commercial. I remember that.
I thought the Harden 1 was dope. I mean, I think honestly, they all kind of look the same to me. I do like some of the colorways of the Harden 3, but they are starting to look the same. They kind of reminded me of the KD 9, KD teen situation. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Like, they have done absolutely nothing. Like, Adidas basketball has been lackluster for Lord knows how long. So I'm not even.
Which even now that I think about it, even when I'm thinking about basketball shoes in general, like. Are any of them being marketed other than just being on the player's feet?
People is taking this. You know what the problem is? Is people see like Nike can drop a colorway of they can just drop a blog post or leak a picture of a off-white one and it'll go viral, right? So everybody thinks they can do that with their shoe and get the same amount of attention. And to some extent, these blogs, including Sneaker Party Detroit, they'll do the, we kind of like, oh, okay. And then we post it like ad nauseum and then, we kind of do the marketing for them. And I think that kind of gives them the impression that we ain't really got to try. Like, we can just throw this out there. Cause I think that's what happened with Reebok. Like, we're going to show up the conference con with a bunch of press releases and let social media do the rest. And then, nothing.
I mean, but that's why I said what I said about influencers. Well, influencers, quote unquote. Right. You're not even getting the shoes in their hands for them to even be able to promote the shoes.
But why is it everybody else's job to promote your shit though? That's the thing I'm trying to get. Like, it's a Reebok shoe. Like, it should be incumbent on Reebok to promote it. Anything else is extra.
Well, I think that's part of promoting the shoe is getting the right people in the shoe for product visibility. That's why they lean to influencers because of the visibility that they have or their following. Yeah, because that's what the work is.
I mean, come on now.
But remember when we had
name one influencer that got a bigger following than Reebok.
But remember when we had Aaron Patton on? And remember what he said about the 11s?
Quite a few got a bigger following than Reebok.
What he said about the 11s, about getting it on Boys to Men, for them to wear at the Grammys? Yeah. What do you, like, you don't see that with any of these brands right now, like getting the shoe on anybody's feet other than, like, if it's an athlete that's that signature athlete shoe, right, other than them wearing it. Right. Like, you don't see anybody outside of LeBron wearing LeBrons.
Yes.
You don't see anybody outside of KD wearing KDs. And it's like, I just feel like the whole marketing aspect has been totally lost.
I agree with you. I just, yeah.
I mean, like, Jordan commercials used to be dope. They used to kind of like really draw you in. And
well, there's no social media, so that's why. And you watch the game, so that's where it reached you. Now that you're on your phone, you're not really watching TV like that. So now they're gonna try.
Yeah, but they got the what's that Nike, the Serena Williams ad that they put out. The first time I saw that was on social media. I didn't see that on TV for like maybe
that was dope. The one that showed her like growing up.
Yeah, like that was on social media first.
But they only do that for like special projects. They don't do it.
And they're naming $100 million building after her, so they're gonna try to get some of that.
I'm just saying, like, if you got if you can do that, like, you can put more of that stuff out to be able to draw attention to it.
Sometime next year.
Damn it,
1 million square feet.
I want to see that building when it's finished. Anyway, Clash of the Titans, Nike's Dutch tax treatment under investigation by EU officials, or European officials. An article written by Sheena Butler-Young. I know I feel about 3 names, so it's She Young for Footwear News. Shout out to Sheena. Hey, Sheena. The European Commission has launched an in-depth investigation into Nike's tax treatment in the Netherlands. The group, which oversees various policies in the 28-member EU, said that it will examine whether tax rulings granted by the Netherlands to Nike may have given the company an unfair advantage over its competitors, breaching EU state aid rules. The investigation was centered on 2 Nike Group companies based in the Netherlands, Nike European Operations Netherlands BV and Converse Netherlands BV. Both entities develop, market, and record sales of Nike and Converse products in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. From 2006 and 2015, Dutch authorities issued 5 tax rulings approving a method to calculate the royalties paid by Nike's two Netherlands-based companies for the use of the intellectual property. As a result of the rulings, both of Nike's companies in the Netherlands are taxed on a limited operating margin based on sales. The EU Commission says its concern is that the royalty payments endorsed by the rulings may not reflect the economic reality and may have unduly reduced the taxable base in the Netherlands of Nike European. In the response, Nike says that they rigorously ensure that they comply with all the same tax laws as other companies operating in the Netherlands, and the investigation is without merit. Sure. 2 Chainz calls out Nike for ripping off his album work. 2 Chainz. An article written by Riley Jones for Soul Collector. This past Valentine's Day, Nike collaborated on a Zoom Fly SP runner with artist Nathan Bell. The shoes featured a soft pink hue and are covered in graphics made up by Nathan's hand-drawn doodles. Nike said that the design was intended to celebrate running as a competition with yourself. But 2 Chainz is insinuating that Nike may have found inspiration in one of his recent album covers. Taking to Instagram, 2 Chainz addressed Nike and Nathan's collaboration by going as far as to say he feels it was based on his 2017 LP, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. 2 Chainz said, I'm happy I could influence you guys to make this shoe based off of my last album, #Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. I met a few really good and cool Nike reps in Charlotte this past weekend, and I'm looking forward to speaking to someone soon about this. Signed, yours truly, your dear friend, 2 Chainz.
Is this only just like that? It was a pink shoe.
It was a pink shoe with a bunch of
on it. Yeah. I mean, I can understand where he would get that from. And also, Ariana Grande album had it too, and he had a conversation with her, but she ended up being on his new album. But I mean,
maybe they just need to talk. Maybe they need to sit in a room and talk.
I think
I'll go on the Half and Half podcast and hammer it out.
Thank you. Glad to have him. But I mean, it's part of the game. Like, you're going to draw inspiration from everywhere. Like, if that was the case, then everybody would come from the Nike SBs, the Golden Bears, like the skunk. Like, it's different things that inspire you, draw inspiration from. So,
all right. So this is a story I've really been wanting to get into. Under Armour. Under Armour is accused of taking business advice from his alleged mistress. Just when you think Under Armour can't Under Armour anymore, they show you that they can just go one more level of Under Armour, more than you expected. An article written by Mike DeStefano for Soul Collector. Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank has reportedly been getting some business advice from sources outside of the company. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Kevin has been looking towards MSNBC anchor Stephanie. How am I supposed to? Is it Roule or Rule? I'm just gonna go with Rule. Ruhle. Rule to aid him in some of his day-to-day decision making. Anonymous executives within Under Armour referred to Stephanie's involvement as unusual and problematic. They also believe that her and Kevin were involved romantically, which was swaying Kevin's judgment. Under Armour's senior vice president of communications, Kelly McCormick, who has maintained that the two are merely just friends, of course, sure. People at Under Armour were originally made aware of Stephanie and Kevin's alleged relationship last year after emails were recovered. Who goes about looking through the emails? Like, they have like a purger
you'd
or
be
something?
surprised because when I
looked through Kwame's text messages.
Nah, when I worked at
Yeah, after you put on a memo that says
two previous employers, we had a situation like that. You'd be surprised, man.
Man, that's crazy. Kevin was questioned by the Under Armour board regarding the messages and claimed that they were a private matter that no company funds were spent on. Stephanie allegedly advised Kevin on how to handle a consumer criticism related to the infamous Chef Curry 2 lows in 2016. Now, what was the situation with that? I was trying to remember as I was writing this out. Like, I'm trying to remember what was the infamous situation with the Chef Curry 2s. Anybody remember? Like,
I just remember them all white ones. Everybody kept cooking.
Everybody was roasted.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
I don't know.
I don't.
As well as how to handle the backlash surrounding the support of Trump in 2017. Reports claim that Under Armour avoided responding to the Chef Curry ridicule on social media because Stephanie advised against it. That's probably what it is. I remember it now. Now it's starting to come back to me. Those shoes were like the Under Armour M2K Technos of their day. That shoe was just, what made them drop that shoe?
I mean, it's just. I mean, they drop all white low tops. Bron drop them. I mean, Kobe had.
But Bron has. I mean, all white. LeBron has pretty good shoes.
I mean, that shoe Curry 2 sold well that year. It's just that low top version, all white, it wasn't hit. That shoe wasn't that bad, but social media, you know how it is.
Not all white shoes are created equal.
Really?
Like, roll up in here some K-Swisses.
I was gonna say,
do it.
I'm looking at another shoe that wasn't all white.
Go to Chicago this July with some K-Swisses, all white K-Swisses.
How? Clark Kent just had K-Swiss collab.
Was it those all white joints?
It was all white and it had the African stripes on the side.
Those nursing shoes.
I mean, his was definitely was a K-Swiss Classics, wasn't it?
Yes, they were.
So.
Was it those? It was those.
Yeah,
it was K-Swiss Classics. Yeah.
Yes,
okay, well, me and him got a conversation to have.
Well, I didn't even know
he can get it too.
Out. First time I've ever seen
Erica, we need to get Erica. I'll let you know right now.
It's the first time I've ever seen him.
Oh yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
Shout out to Erica. We need to get DJ Clark Kent back on the show. We need to have a discussion about this. This is new to me.
You seen them before?
No, let me see it.
Yeah. He might like those.
Yeah,
nah,
I think those might be available in the size 15.
No. Erica, get DJ Clark Kent back on the show. Stat.
That's got Caesar written all over.
No, it doesn't.
He had the influencers hold them too.
Nah.
Taking pictures in it and stuff.
Everybody except for you.
This is
know what? He might have got you the sample pair. It's probably got the ice sole on there.
This just screams Gino.
And it has
got clear air pocket.
Africa on the heel. You know what I'm saying?
No, his is on one heel. It say African, the other one it say Caesar.
That shoe is trash though. Like honestly, I'm not even. And you once again, you lost all credibility anyway. You love those Jordan.
Wait, hold up. Didn't you just say earlier in the show that something about people should be liking the shoes that they like? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You did just say that,
I said that,
right?
like, no, if you want to buy that shoe, I'm just saying, I'm not, and I'm going to talk about it.
All I got to say about that K-Swiss.
If you were sitting off a cliff and you had to choose between those and those Jordan 9s.
I guess I'm going to fall to my death.
But you still going to buy the Jordan 9s?
Again, I'm buying them when they go on sale. On sale with a discount.
Just to make a point.
Again, I'm not buying
the most unnecessary death.
I am not buying them at retail price or when they come out.
$1.90 or $1.90, you still pay.
All right. Money out of your pocket is exchanged for those shoes.
You wouldn't pay $100 for them?
No.
Tripping.
No.
Would you pay $100 for them?
No.
Okay, I had to make sure he's on the same page. No, only thing I got to say about those cases.
They retail for $80.
What retail for $80?
Well, they on StockX right now.
So you paying resale prices for cases?
They're not even. I'm looking just.
out here.
I am on StockX just for like the photo, but there's no like record of sales. There's no pairs listed.
It probably is no record of sale on
Gino can't wait for Foot Locker to sell out of those so he can buy them off the GoDaddy.
What, them cases? Right. Man, them is hot trash. No, what I was gonna say is
you was just defending them like 5 minutes ago.
Because I was gonna say is
I'm wear them on the 9s. Which one?
Oh man, that's like asking me if I want to get shot or stabbed.
I'm curious to know I'm curious to know what creative direction did they give him on that? Because like I said, if you just colored the stripes,
it was Pan African inspired. Go to his Instagram page.
But I'm just saying though, you just colored the stripes, so that's why I'm assuming he didn't get much of a creative chance with that shoe.
I'm pretty sure he did because Case was like, "Please make us high. You can do whatever."
But that's the best he come up with.
I mean, real talk, he could have just put a basketball with CBC on the insole and called it a day.
No, not them.
Forgot about that shoe already.
Yeah, I just
weren't they supposed to have some other shoes released from out that pack?
Yeah, there was like a black and purple.
I was just saying, nothing
maybe that was like an albino.
It came out.
Where?
I've seen them. What? The other shoes from that.
Who bought
Adidas.
those?
I was going to say, it's March now.
If you bought the Black History Month Adidas shoes, call us next
there
week.
was two.
Tea Party.
Yeah, what? Call us next week and tell us why and how.
Hell, if you actually seen them, pull them up. Pull those up, for instance.
No, because I've never seen any of them, but
that's what I said.
I've seen pictures of them.
The only one I saw was just that Ultra Boost, and I kept saying that it was supposed to be more shoes in the pack, but
it was like black and red or something.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying.
It was more Boost.
See, there's the white. It was there.
Man, we only got so much time left, but I was just thinking in my head, like, while you looking at the Ultra Boost, like, just how the Ultra Boost has gotten. Like you talked about it earlier, how they come out the same shoe. The Ultra Boost essentially looks like the same shoe, no matter how many changes they put to it. At least with the Air Max, right? It looks different. Air Max 1, 90,
well, I know
95, 98, 97.
This one they just put out, the Ultra Boost 19. They tried to
It still
something
essentially
to,
the
no,
same
that's what I'm
shoe.
saying. It still looks exactly the same. It's like,
just like, no,
it's like you could tell they close their eyes and just try to do.
They changed like one or two details on it because they think they did a different shoe.
I mean, they
vanilla ice in it. That's what they're doing. They're vanilla ice in the design process, and I'm really.
I will say that shoe had a heck of a 2-year run though.
Oh,
True.
that. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay. Forgot about that.
That's what I'm talking. What the? What?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
You can't be mad at that because Jordan dropped some threes just like that. The crimson threes.
Oh, the crimson threes, yeah.
Trash.
It was trash.
And people bought them.
You know, people bought all the Jordan threes.
No, they were terrible. Them stealth threes were terrible. Them
stealth
threes were
threes.
terrible.
Stealth
Oh
threes.
my goodness.
What were the stealth threes?
They was all gray suede. They was basically the ungrateful threes. They was all gray suede.
With the green
white.
on them?
No, they was all gray with the white bottom with a little bit of black and red hits. That was 2000 and
yeah. I'm part of blue ones was garbage too. I remember now. It was like a dark gray, right?
Yeah. With the white lace.
The ones that came out last year.
Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah,
the chlorophyll or chloroseptic, whatever.
You doing plumbing septic tank threes?
That's what they look like.
Right. Plug your sink up.
That's them for $75. I buy them for $75.
Nah.
Yeah.
So that's okay for you to buy that three for $75.
Them threes look way better than them nines.
No, they don't.
Oh, which one?
No,
which
they
one?
don't.
Chlorophyll threes with those nines.
No, them nines look better than them threes, bro.
I feel like I can get away with those threes more than I can with those nines.
Nah, man, them nines look way better than them threes.
Like, you have to be in a crisscross video in like 92 to get away with wearing those.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's not 1992.
They were like, you know what? Actually, like the blackface nines. You shouldn't even be wearing them. That's exactly what they look like.
Blackface nines.
That's what they exactly look like.
Yeah, I don't know why they made those. I honestly like.
Put it this way, I don't know why they trying to put the word nostalgia on like everything that they've been releasing right now. Because they did it for that four, they doing it for that
They're
9.
trying to appeal to your, nostalgic taste.
They're trying to sell Johnny, who's 18, at the shoe, and try to sell y'all the same shoe. So we're gonna use nostalgia for you. We're gonna use these bright colors for him. And hopefully, we'll see both of you guys at the register.
Yeah, you see me there when the shoe was on sale, and I get to use my discount.
Man, son, like, I can't do it. I can't even. Don't you ever wear them shoes?
I'm proud that they took like one of the ugliest colorways.
You gonna wear
put
them?
it on the most
wear
uncomfortable
Jordan?
Chicago
in July.
On the most uncomfortable Jordan.
Why not?
Cause I already got an idea what I want to wear.
You already got your lineup put together already?
I got an idea. I told you
sample pair of them.
I told you one shoe. I told you one shoe that I was gonna do. Remember I told you I was gonna get the other Laney and wear both the Laneys?
Oh, don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I might be tempted to fight you, let alone other people in Chicago. Release date is brought to you by SneakerBarDetroit.com, the number one source for sneaker news.
The Laney blue is a tad bit darker though on the white pair than it is on the pair you got. Yeah, it's like a tad bit darker. That suede made it look a little like.
I was gonna say it's probably because of the suede on there.
But I love them. The new ones, them Laneys, are nice. I like them more in hand in person. But Saturday, March 9th, Gino's favorite shoe, the Air Jordan Retro 9. Dream it. Do it. You also have the Nike LeBron 3 Home, the Supreme Special Edition Nike Air Max Tailwind 4-pack, the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Quick Strike Memphis Tiger, the Adidas Yeezy 700 Boost Inertia, the Sneakers and Stuff Special Edition Adidas Night Jogger, the Adidas ZX 4000 4D Black Onyx, and the Adidas ZX 500 Sam Brown. Thursday, March 14th, you have the Jordan Why Not 0.2 OKC Home, and those actually look pretty nice, by the way. Francis's favorite shoe, the emotionally unavailable Special Edition Nike Air Force 1 High.
This shoe's trash.
That's saying a lot coming from a sneaker or Air Force 1 connoisseur. Friday, March 15th, you have the Aleli May Special Edition Air Jordan Retro 6 Millennial Pink. Saturday, March 16th, you have the Air Jordan Retro 1 High OG Black Phantom, the Air Jordan Retro 1 High OG Cell University Red, the Nike Air Max 90 Mars Landing, and then you have 3 colorways of the Adidas ZZ 350 Boost V2. Each colorway is regional. So the clay colorway is coming out in North and South America only. The True Form colorway is only coming out in Europe and Africa. And then the Hyperspace colorway is only coming out in Asia and Australia. And then finally, you have the Adidas Falcon Trace Purple. So definitely appreciate, the support and the listeners. Wish we could have got more callers in, but phone lines ain't necessarily set up that way. Not like the old studio. We had like 12. I remember one time we had like 12 callers on hold at one time, which is crazy. And somebody else asked if we could do a live show. No, nope, not for a while.
What, they want us to go somewhere and do a show?
They want us to do a live show on YouTube. And I'm like, nope. No, sir. Not anytime soon. But no, thank you for listening. And hopefully people on YouTube, you're happy. It's not getting a lot of views like I thought it wouldn't. You know, that's the reason why we left YouTube in the first place, that we get most of our downloads. Because people would rather, I mean, it's a 2-hour show, right? So they'd rather listen to it.
This is 3.5 hour show.
Okay, well, today's going to be a 3.5 hour show.
Are you going to listen to the interview now?
No, this was a 3.5 hour show. We are on hour 3.5.
Yes.
Yeah, no, are you going to
find in live time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to listen back to the interview.
Exactly.
And then give my opinion next show.
That's right.
But with that being said, horrible. I don't know my train of thought now. I don't even know what I was going to say. Oh, but going back to the whole YouTube thing, most people like to listen to it, you know, as they drive and they work out or at work, so they don't have the time or a 2-hour window to listen and watch like on YouTube. Not that we have anything to watch because it's all audio in there too. But with that being said, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for supporting us thus far. Hopefully everything we have planned comes to fruition this year. I don't want to speak on it just yet 'cause I want to jinx it and burn bread. And once again, for like the 20th time, check out the Half and Half podcast show. Guru's other show, that he made because he's unhappy with this one. It's not enough Jay-Z and LeBron references, so, you know, he needs to fill up his time on the next show.
I appreciate the support, man. Thank you, C. So, thank you.
And shout out to our producer too. We got a bunch of drunk stories I can't wait till we get to. But, with that being said, we see you guys next week. We out.
Peace.